Alright, so we are live with Curse of Strahd, 1nitiative. So we have Rocky, Duncan, Telwyn, and Mautan here today. Okay, so last we left off in Curse of Strahd. They had just cleansed the fane of St. Markovia by healing the abbot by exorcising the demon that had taken control of him. They also calmed Vasilka down, his strange flesh golem, and they ended off by taking a moment to relax, a little much-needed moment to relax. If anybody wants to sum up like some of the emotions going on right now with Alfio leaving, some people were kind of a little distraught.
He abandoned us. He's a dick.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I gave him my best stick.
Emotions about the player leaving us or the character?
Both, I guess.
I am really going to miss Alfio. He was a cool character. And Baylor seemed pretty cool too. Is there any chance at all he'll be able to rejoin us later?
It's always up in the air. He's welcome to if he wants to. As of right now, he's not sure if he's going to be able to, but in the meanwhile, we do have Mautan joining us in. And sporadically, we will have Osman, although he's going to be more of a... not always there, but he'll be here every few sessions or so, just kind of wandering in and out of our lives.
He's actually GM'd this before, right? COS, I mean?
No, he's a GM of a different campaign that I and Tyler, my brother, we play in on Sundays.
Oh, okay. I thought he may have done Curse of Strahd before.
No, he has played in it before. It was a different, kind of a little bit different one than this one, but...
Okay.
I wish he was going to be with us full time. That is an interesting character.
You said that he might
Mautan
join
is
in
also incredibly cool.
I am.
The visuals that I was getting listening to him fight was just... damn. That was movie quality.
Thank you. I was on my off game that night.
Well, then, I am going to be so intimidated hearing you at your best.
We'll see.
Alright, so, we have cleansed the fane.
How does Alfio leave in game? I mean, does he just say, "It's been fun, guys"? But
he noticed the locket that Cloven dropped. He recognized it from his past, having to do with something in his backstory, and he wants to take some time to investigate that out and see if he can find the leads that'll take him to where he needs to go.
Okay.
But he said his farewells. He said that if he ever takes care of his past, he will join up with you guys or try to find you guys again if fate intertwines you once more, but for right now, this is his farewell. And then you missed, Duncan kind of was a little bit disheartened by that Alfio was leaving him. Mautan consoled him a little bit.
And Rocky helped.
And Rocky helped too, to console him.
Aww.
I don't want to talk about it.
And so everybody is gathered around in this common area here, deciding what to do next. It's a little bit around midday, just a little bit after midday now. And it's up to you guys what you want to do. You guys have safe haven here now. The abbot assures you that the horrible stuff is gone now.
Okay, so he is up for talking.
He has actually started to make his way upstairs because he is wiped. But
he's exhausted
if you
from
want
being
to say,
possessed for 50 years.
If you want, yeah, he was possessed for like a good 40, 50 years, but it probably wasn't that long. But
Telvin understands that he needs his rest, but as he's going upstairs, she'll just call after him. We very much need to talk when you've had some rest.
Yes, well, if you ever need to seek me out again, I am willing for that. I'm s- sorry for the pain that I've caused you all. I fear that I have failed horribly in my undertaking, and I was supposed to be bringing the light of Lathander here, and I failed him quite terribly, I'm afraid.
You have not failed. You were merely sidetracked for a while. But what I meant is that I would like to speak to you immediately after you've had some rest.
Might I pertain what this might be about?
I need to know as much as I can about how the enemy operates. I wanted to speak with you about how you came to be sidetracked.
Yes, well, I'm afraid that had to do with the creature, Cloven, that Strahd sent this way. Cloven works some kind of brand into me. He is a member of a tribe that's...
Please, go and get rest. You can tell me all of this when you have had some recovery time.
Oh, no, no. I don't plan on staying here any second longer than we need to.
Duncan, we can wait one night.
Do you remember what happened last time we stayed here?
It will not happen again.
He'll just kind of grumble and storm off.
I'm in the background somewhere just looking for sticks.
Okay.
Okay,
like,
I'm gonna
the-
see if Telvin notices this quest for sticks.
If you need rooms, I'd be very wary of the guest rooms. There are some old spirits that still linger. Most of them are harmless, but some of them are a little bit unfriendly, let's say. I'd be very wary about staying there. If you want to bunk down, I know it's uncomfortable lying around on the floor around here, but might be a little safer. I mean, oh, so, Molly, if you see Rocky, I'm pretty sure you're not, like, hiding, picking up sticks, so...
Yeah, no, I'm just looking for sticks.
Yeah, so, anybody that's... He's not really hiding it, so everybody can kind of see him go off and do his thing. You don't really have to make a roll for that.
Well, until morning, she has nothing better to do, so Telvin will hand her over. Can I help you with anything, Rocky?
Well, first things first. Can I roll an investigation check to see how well my stick search is going?
Okay, you are inside of, like, a dining room. Did you want to, like, go outside?
There might be rushes soon.
No,
a
I'm
common
looking
thing
under
for-
the tables and everything. Yeah, I'm looking under the tables.
Okay, you could try. Roll an investigation.
Yeah, let's see what we can find. Hold on. $15.
With a 15, I mean, you see kind of, like, bits that should probably be used as, like, kind of pokers for, like, the fireplace. Nothing, like, too fancy. They're kind of just meager, frail little sticks, but there's, like, one or two.
Yeah, I'll take them. And then when Telvin comes over, I will place them in her hands. Like, I'll offer them up to her and see if she wants them.
Okay, so he offers up some sticks to you, Telwyn, seeing if you would like any.
And she has no idea what this is about, but he seems to be giving her a gift, and that implies that they mean something to him. So she will smile and say, "Thank you, but are you sure you don't need them yourself?"
Rocky will cock his head to the side and just kind of look at her and then cluck his beak a little bit. And then open up his cloak where he's got quite a few more. And then just give a little shrug.
What do you look for when you collect these?
He shows you he's got a couple different types of sticks. He's got like a couple straight sticks. He had a wand, but he got rid of it. And there's some sticks that have like more knots and more twists in them. And then he points to the one that has the most twists, because to him, if it has the most twists, it has the most possibilities and the most uses. And then give him a thumbs up.
Okay, she's starting to get the idea. So, the more twists and turns and knots, the more beautiful?
He'll hesitate for a moment and then give a bit of a nod and then say, the more beautiful?
She smiles. I find that is often true with people as well, don't you?
He nods to that. He nods.
We have the rest of the day in front of us. Would you like to go and look for more? I'll help you.
Yeah, he nods, actually. And kind of gathers his cloak around him again and starts shuffling out towards the door and gesturing to follow.
She won't follow. She'll walk her side.
Well, he's going to walk out to the yard. Let's just take a peek at this yard.
Okay. Do you want to go out past the courtyard, or do you want to go out into, like, just like the outside of the abbey itself?
Do they have any orchards or anything like that?
There's like trees over by, so to like the west of the abbey, like if you go out past the main gates and head a little westward, there are some like wooded areas there's like a graveyard over there.
Wooded areas sound like a place to look for sticks. Telwyn will point in that direction and say, shall we try there?
Rocky looks over it. Hasn't really considered that the first time. And goes there and just kind of starts heading that direction.
Okay, so you make your way over to, there's kind of like a secluded wooded area enclosed by like the stone walls. There's several, just some graves over here with some light falling of snow over top of them. And there's a few trees here and there all throughout this little other, not really a courtyard, more of just like a side area overlooking the rest of the town. So like if you look over the walls, you can see down below the village of Krezik, some of the chimneys lighting up smoke. You can see them surrounded by the wood area all down below. It's actually a really breathtaking sight from up here.
In that case, Telwyn will stop for a moment and admire the view.
Yeah, Rocky will do the same and just make the small sound of a sputtering flame, offering just a small prayer to Desna. Because he's not quite sure what to do with things like this yet, but he's kind of figuring some of it out, and to him, Desna is beautiful, so therefore this should be too. And then he's going to look for sticks.
Okay. You can roll another investigation over here, and then I'll get to everybody in just a second.
I'm so sorry, I've just got to find the right stick. You know how it is. Three.
3, you wander...
Telwyn has a 16 to look for sticks.
Okay, so you're more so just like focused, trying to find these sticks. You're like wandering around, like going circles around these gravestones. Nothing really seems to catch your eye. Telwyn looks around. She's kind of guiding you along the way. It's like, no, this way, over here. Take a look. See this one? And she kind of like lifts up a couple sticks for you from like some of the branches from the trees that have fallen. Some of them from old nests, probably from birds that have been abandoned at some
Just
point.
like me. Rocky will take each of the sticks that he finds, just gives like an appreciative nod, and just keeps his head down, just looking for sticks, and just tucks them all away in his cloak. Yeah, that's what he does.
Okay. What would everybody else like to be doing at the moment? Currently, Osmond's just
Can I
like
add
kind
just
of.
one more thing real quick?
Sure. What would you like to do?
As we're looking for sticks, Telwyn will just start telling him about one of the places that she's seen long ago that had a particularly beautiful tree with just this most gorgeous bark, and telling him, about the sticks that he probably could get from those.
All right. And then as we transition back to the rest in this little dining area, Osmond's kind of just sitting on a chair, leaning back a little bit, tuning up his banjo, trying to fix the string that broke off during the battle. What would everybody else like to do?
Well, realizing that we're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon, Duncan's just going to kind of mope over to this chair in front of the fire here, unceremoniously sweep whatever's on the table like out of the way to give him some space, and then like throw down his pack, place his crossbow on the table, and pull out his tinker tools and just kind of start, just making sure that everything's all right with the crossbow, and just performing some routine maintenance on it.
All right.
Tan will just be sitting cross-legged on the chair and eyes closed, hands folded together, and just kind of meditating and bobbing his head to any strumming that Osmond's doing, and just centering himself.
All right. So everybody takes their rest in. So what would everybody like to do for the rest of the day? Do you want to like just rest up here, or do you want to like go down into the town? Well, the day is up to you. What you guys want to do here?
Rocky's a follower for now. He'll do whatever everybody else does.
So presumably we're going to be taking a long rest. And for the downtime, I'd actually like to begin the process of crafting a weapon, if that's possible.
All right. What would you like to craft?
I'd like to craft a hand crossbow.
All right. So do you have materials for it already?
No, but my idea is that I want to have him begin a sketch, kind of.
Okay.
And just
cool.
Keenly observe the mechanism on Thumper, and do his best to kind of translate that into crossbow form, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. So you go ahead and start sketching this out. I'm going to have you roll for this. Let's have you roll just kind of let's see, what would be like the best for this? Probably more so like, hold on one sec. I know I want it to be like
Dex check, maybe?
intelligence of some kind.
Could just be a straight intelligence.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking right now. I just don't really like straight rolls all that much. But this could be more so like
Investigation if he's trying to figure out how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just announce my intentions. Like, I don't actually want to have him build it himself, but if he's proficient with Tinker's tools and understands mechanisms, I want him to be able to at least draft up a concept so that he can pass that along to somebody else.
Okay, yeah. I'll say like you could do like a investigation or maybe like a history kind of check, whichever
Alright.
one would work better for you. Ooh, very nice with a 19. So you go ahead and start laying down the rough sketches for it. It's actually pretty elaborate, the sketches that you put down through here. You get a lot of the details in through here, and it's very, very detailed of all the mechanisms and apparatuses, with lots of like sketches onto what each device does and like how they fit all together. Lots of diagrams together.
Amazing. Fantastic.
And then Telwyn wanted to retcon her introduction to the group as well. Or retcon her introduction to Osmond and Moutan. More so if you want to just like go back and kind of say what you would have said like when they first introduced.
Might be better if I type it up in Discord, come to think of it, because Osmond isn't here.
Okay, yeah, and if you want to just send that out to the players, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'll do that while you're taking care of what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
Where you said Discord?
Yes.
Right, let me open that up.
But also, does anybody else want to do anything? Since there's downtime, whenever you guys want to take your long rest, just let me know. But if anybody wants to do anything before they settle in for a long rest, now would be the time to get anything done that you want to do.
I feel like the rest of the day, if we're not doing anything else, Motan's just gonna find a quiet spot and just meditate and recenter himself for the day just after that battle and all that.
Alright.
I think only thing, I don't think I ever finished engraving my comma, because I had that thought during a prayer with Desna. So it's possible I'd like to start working on engraving that once I get back to the Abbey.
Yeah. So you set up a little corner for yourself and you begin going into engraving your comma. What were you engraving again?
I don't remember my initial thought, but I think I'm going to do Desna's hand on it in Celestial. Just along the top of the scythe blade.
Well, you said
Towards
Desna's hand?
Desna's hand.
Okay, so you begin starting to take out some tools and you start delicately carving into the blade. Just do you want to do like a performance to see like how nice it looks? I don't know if it'd be more so. I don't know if it'd be more so performance. It'd probably be more so like.
I could do sleight of hand. I've got a great sleight of hand.
That actually probably is the best because it's about you being like deft with your hands and trying to get it looking just right.
But I've actually I haven't taken my long rest. Can't use a luck point.
Yeah,
Dang
so you have 11 here. You go ahead and start working on it. It's not like the best right here, so you kind of hold back a little bit in places, just trying to refine it. Take your time, so you don't quite get it all finished, just because you are not fully satisfied with how it's looking just yet. Just kind of trying to perfect your method right here. And with that, do we want to?
And then I'm ready.
Okay, do we want to assume everybody's taking a long rest then, or?
Oh yes.
Okay, so as you all take your long rest, you all just settle in down here in like this dining area.
Were we keeping watches as usual?
It's up to you guys.
I don't think we need to. I mean,
Telin would suggest it's best not to lose the habit.
well then
take
by
a
all
watch at that
means, you
point.
can take the first watch.
Certainly.
Is there a long rest button on the sheet, or do I just reset everything?
Yeah, you got to do it yourself.
Cool.
But okay, so Telwyn, you're gonna go ahead and set up a watch while everybody goes in for their long rest.
Yeah, she's going to go out in the courtyard to keep watch so that she can also see the moon and the stars and thereby better pray to Salute.
Okay.
I'll take a walk too and then pray by sleep.
Okay. So Telwyn, I'm gonna have you roll a perception check just to keep watch throughout the night. Or well, it's actually midday
Not
right
all
now.
night.
Okay.
Oh,
So
right.
it's a 7. So you kind of look out throughout the courtyard, try and keep an eye out, but your mind keeps wandering back to the encounter with the abbot, how a man was, well, an angel, not just a man. He was beset by such an evil and the things it must have done to him, and you can't even imagine the torment that would have gone in.
Her, yes.
Yeah, the torment that would have gone into such an encounter that he had to go through. and your mind just keeps being torn back to that, which is kind of just sentiment for the abbot, kind of distracting you from the watch at hand. Everybody else goes in for a little bit of rest for the evening.
By the
Or
way,
it's actually midday. I keep saying evening. I don't know why.
just in case, she has protection from evil and good readied.
Okay, good to know. All right. The day seems to pass by uneventful. It seems relatively nice out. There's actually still a faint light coming from the gardens up to the north, and just like it's probably the most cheerful you've ever seen Barovia since you guys came here. Like, you've never seen it this peaceful and serene, actually, and for once it actually seems like there's a beauty to this land. And if it weren't so mired in chaos and nightmare, this place would actually be like a beautiful place to live in all reality.
Don't forget there are horrible abominations that writhe in their cells underneath our feet.
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, Rocky, during the night, you get just bits and flashes of visions. You see random places in your mind. You see, it's hard to tell. You see a hilltop surrounded by these different cairns, or just like these shallow tombs sunken into the earth, and you see people just kind of resting in the shallow earth inside of them. Just, they appear to be sleeping, but you see someone going forward and waking them, kind of moving them about. She's got a headdress on. It looks like a female is going around waking all these people that are sleeping in like these shallow cairns all around the hilltop, and you can see she's nudging them with a staff, making sure that they get up. They're talking in a strange language that you're not too familiar with, and they begin moving towards the top of the hill, where you could see kind of this vague outline of a statue, but what draws your eye in the distance, you see this wall of fog beyond it, and in this wall of fog, you can almost swear that you see, your home, where you grew up, and then as you try and get a closer look, the image vanishes from your mind.
Oh, shoot.
But other than that, was somebody else waking up for another watch?
What's the time of day? It's like early morning, I assume. Like we stayed
no,
overnight. How?
it's afternoon now, so
Okay.
it was a little bit after midday when you guys sweat in for your long rest. So assuming Telwyn took about how many hours would you say you would want to take for the watch, Telwyn?
Probably all of us could do with a longer long rest than usual. So if it was midday, she'd probably wait till like about 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Wake everybody up for a late dinner, and somebody else can watch.
Alright, so Telwyn starts gathering everybody up in order to get them a dinner ready for the evening. As you all gather around, you notice that, strangely, Osman is missing. He's nowhere to be seen. There is a note left on the table, though.
Well, what does the note say?
Yeah, what does it say? Duncan will reach over and grab it.
You reach in and you can see in this kind of sprawling handwriting, Osman wishes you well. He says that he needs to go where the wind takes him. He can hear the old road calling, and he's sure that he'll see you again, but for right now he feels he needs to be moving, never staying in one spot too long.
What a queer little
Backwards,
man.
no doubt. He did speak of liking to walk backwards.
Duncan will just pass the letter on to each of them.
strange little fellow, yes.
Doesn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure he was half mad.
In this place, who isn't?
He's a free spirit. He will be back, I'm sure.
Yes, free spirit. Yes. That's what we call mad people who just haven't gone off the deep end quite yet.
Duncan, doesn't it exhaust you to be so judgmental all the time?
No, it's no effort at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't seem happy.
Of course not. How can you be happy in a place like this?
You can be focused. You can have purpose.
I am focused, and I do have purpose. There's one purpose, and that's leaving this place.
For just a moment, Tullen puts a gentle hand on your shoulder. Says nothing.
Duncan kind of like looks down at it because she's a lot stronger than she seems.
I did say gentle hand.
Yeah, but Duncan's he's a pretty slender man, right?
Well,
He's
she didn't
Slender Man.
clap you on the shoulder. She just gently touched your shoulder and then moved about her business.
So where is it going with this?
What was her reason?
Yeah. Are you doing anything
Duncan
else with
wouldn't
this?
know that.
I already gave my reaction. He's just like, all right.
It was just sort of a pitying, trying to be comforting touch.
So you guys all gather in. The abbot makes his way downstairs at this point.
Tullen will cook dinner for everybody.
All right. There's plenty of vegetables and things from the garden that you can go ahead and get together here.
Any chicken or anything like that?
There's no chicken. There's some rabbit. But
We don't
no
eat birds with our company, remember?
Huh?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Rocky's watching hard right now.
I am a few weeks out of practice after all. She'll make a nice rabbit stew.
And as the abbot comes down, he pulls out one of the chairs and settles down kind of slow, just taking his time. He looks, for an angel, kind of haggard. He still looks... his face is kind of sunken in. You can kind of see, like, lines underneath his eye where you shouldn't really see that on, like, an angelic being.
Well, look who it is. I believe that what you're experiencing right now is what us mortals call a hangover.
Duncan, if you cannot have a civil tongue, keep it still.
Civil tongues.
Duncan, silence. You
Well,
aren't
just kinda like-
helping.
He'll
Well,
just kind of
if-
huff like he's being corrected like a child and kind of look away.
Which, in fact, he is. and Tilwyn will look to the abbot and ask, "Were you able to rest?"
Somewhat. I'm afraid that most of the rest that I got was plagued by... Well, best not to dwell on that. I fear if this is what a hangover feels, then I do pity you mortals.
Duncan will just kind of give him like a little sneer, like, yes.
Please, do not pity us. None of us have ever experienced anything like what you have been through.
Yes, well, I'm afraid that Cloven was quite a dastardly fellow. Worked for a malicious organization that I've not had too much dealings with before, just heard bits and pieces of, but they have strange scruples.
Are you ready to speak of this, or would you rather wait until morning?
I can tell you what I do know. I know that he belonged to a tribe that calls themselves the Golgari. They practice strange beliefs. They believe that life is just... well, they don't hold life in the same regard as you and I do, if you get my meaning. I'm trying to see if I know how to best explain it. It's rather quite difficult to sum up their beliefs.
Why not wait until morning? I had not thought to speak with you about it until then.
Oh, well, I mean, it makes no difference if it's now, it's in the morning, I'm up now, I might as well say anything that might interest you.
It does make a difference. I would like to speak with you privately, if you don't mind.
Is this something you don't want your companions knowing about?
Oh no, it isn't that. This is not the only matter that I wish to speak with you of.
I see. Well, if you would like to speak at another time, then that's fine by me.
Perhaps before I go to take some rest myself. After dinner.
Very well.
Can I get you some wine?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm just going to stick with water, my dear.
I thought it might help you to rest easier.
No, I'm afraid that the beast inside me relished the wine, but not me myself.
Do you enjoy meat or anything like that?
No, not quite. I just mostly stick with the pure substances.
Yes, that's probably a good idea.
So the abbot begins taking small
Tucking
bites.
into the rabbit stew.
You notice he just kind of like takes bites. It doesn't look like he's actually eating anything substantial. It's just more. It looks like it's more so for show than anything. But he puts on a happy face as everybody gathers around. Would anybody like to do anything in
Is
particular?
the happy face sincere, or is that for show?
You can make a perception check.
Perception or insight?
Let's do insight on here. With a 15, it's well guarded. It seems for the most part sincere. It just seems like his thoughts are kind of dwelling on other things. You also kind of recall that angels don't really need to necessarily eat. They can. They don't need to eat. But he's just politely... It looks like he's trying to be polite, is what he's trying to do.
Right.
But does anybody want to talk about
I'm
anything,
just-
gather around the table, or do anything?
I'm just gonna watch him intensely the entire time I eat. This the whole time. Because the only abbot I've known is this crazy dude that likes to feed. Wait, where's the zombie girl?
She's actually sleeping on one of the chairs in here. She's not awake at the moment. Just kind of, her head is back,
my
her mouth
God.
open, just kind of like heavy breathing coming from her, up on like the north side of the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at her and then look at the abbot, and they kind of like look back between them for a little bit, and just keep staring at the abbot. See if he notices or says anything about her.
He kind of gives a couple side glances to her, but looks like he's trying to, well, make an insight check on this as well.
19.
Okay, with a 19, it looks like he's uncomfortable kind of being around Vasilka. You could feel like kind of a deep-seated kind of regret for things that have happened here. But he looks extremely uncomfortable with having unwittingly, or not unwittingly, but against his will, creating a flesh golem out of parts of human bodies and then crushing a soul inside of it.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna stare at him and just stare at him, see if he changes, see if he acts weird or anything like that. Which he probably won't know, but Rocky doesn't know that. So he's just gonna stare at him and make him super uncomfortable.
Yeah. He's not really keeping an eye with you, Rocky. He's more so just like he keeps looking over at Vasilka and then down at his food again.
Tellen catches Rocky giving the abbot that look, and when she catches Rocky's eye, she just shakes her head.
I will cock my head aside and turn my attention to you now. Not sure what you mean.
Do you like the stew, Rocky?
Rocky will nod and say, like the stew, Rocky?
Good. I wasn't sure if I used enough seasoning.
I don't think Rocky would know. Can I roll a perception check to see if Rocky noticed if the seasoning was, or if he just thinks food is food?
This would probably be like something to do with like intelligence, maybe just like a survival check here.
Hell, I think it's just role playing.
Yeah.
What does Rocky think? Does he eat
Go
just to
for it.
survive, or does he enjoy
But if you want to do
food?
that survival thing, I mean, it seems like food. You're used to just eating whatever's in front of you.
Rocky gives a quizzical look at your talk of seasonings, because he is used to just whatever is in front of him. But he nods and seems to enjoy the stew.
Tillman will kind of chuckle at that. And then she'll look around the table and ask, how much traveling have all of you done? There's this wonderful spice I would have liked to use with this. And she'll describe it a little bit and talk about where it came from. Just playing the polite hostess, trying to make conversation.
Alright. Anybody else want to do anything?
I'm good. We're just
Oh.
resting and
Yeah.
moving on to the next day.
Okay. So, as evening goes through, well, it's 10 o'clock, so like probably 11 o'clock now, getting closer into the midnight hours. The meal is finished, everybody gets done eating. The abbot gets up and, well, if you wanted to talk, I'm free.
Yes, where would you like to have our conversation?
Oh, wherever's fine, down below or upstairs in my quarters.
Let's go upstairs.
Okay. As you make your way upstairs, you could see that this is it's a pretty simple room. Nothing fancy at all, really. It's just got a simple bed on the side. It's also got just a along the side. It's also got a dresser and a table. Let me see here. Yeah, so the stairs go up about like 20 feet. It's more like a loft up here. There's unlit lanterns hanging from the rafters. He kind of goes over to the side and lights a few of them so some light comes into the room. There's also a rope dangling from a bronze bell. It's up in a belfry about 30 feet up ahead, or up above you. And you can see that there's just like this wooden table over on the side, kind of like some tools over beside the table as well. And there's also, let's see, what else is in this room? Yeah, there's also a cabinet in here as well. It looks like a dresser style wardrobe kind of cabinet.
Telvin will assume that the abbot would like to go ahead and sit on his bed, probably the most comfortable place.
Oh, thank you.
So she'll sit down at the table and sit facing him and study his face for a moment. You have been through a terrible ordeal.
Yes, quite.
I realize that you are an angel and your needs are somewhat different from those of mortals. But even angels need to confide and release tension. You should talk about what you have been through.
I don't know if I'm quite ready for that. I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit rude there. I need time to process what's going on, and need time to pray to Lathander, commune with him about some of these things, if you don't mind. I'd rather not talk about the strain, if you will.
Talk can help with the processing, and I am a healer as well as a warrior.
I'm sure this is just... It's something I don't quite feel ready to talk about. No offense to you.
Please understand, your deity is not mine, but my chosen deity is very much like yours. We both serve gods or goddesses of light and beauty and love. I think you will find that what you have been through, what you have to say, my goddess has prepared me to listen to and understand and help.
My dear, I'm grateful, and believe me, you have done a great service to me in helping to free me from what has befallen me. I feel that you were sent here to be a part of this group and to help heal people troubled like me, and I feel that you have gone on the steps to achieving your purpose here in this land. I am grateful for what you've done. Truly.
There is no need. I am simply a servant of the light that softens darkness and smiles on lovers and love. I wonder if you will not speak with me. Might I speak with Lathander with you? Can we pray together?
Well, you see, when I commune with Lathander, I enter a different kind of state of being altogether. It's a little different. It's quite blinding. I have never communed with Lathander in front of another mortal before, and it's not something I do lightly, if you would understand.
True service to a god is never done lightly.
Very true. But
May I ask you something?
yes,
I could tell at dinner that one of the things that troubles you is the matter of that which the demon had you do. The imbuing of life into grotesqueries.
it.
I wondered, what had you thought to do with them now?
Well, for now, I suppose I shall try to guide them and shepherd them as best I can. I know Alfio is probably staying on and helping me a little bit, and we can also try and uncover a little bit about what's troubling him as well, but I cannot abandon these creatures no matter what brought them into this world. Now they are living creatures, and though they are, as some would call them, kind of grotesque, they are full of
Still
life now,
living
so
things.
yes, they need help and guidance, and I believe that is going to be my new purpose here, as far as what I've communed with Lathander already.
I would not think that would be the entirety of your purpose now. We have work to do with regard to the demon of this land, and we will need your help.
We shall see with time, but I am sworn to non-violence. If there's anything that needs helping, it cannot be in the course of battle, but I can aid you in terms of recuperation, in terms of healing. I am strangely in your debt, it would seem.
I have some training in religion, and I find that what you have just said does not ring entirely true. For Lathander, like Saloon, calls for the destruction of the undead.
Yes.
They are a blight on the light that our deities shine.
My call to non-violence was more of a personal thing towards me. About a few thousand years ago that I vowed myself to.
I sense that there is a story there, but one that you probably do not easily share, and I respect that.
Perhaps in time, but for now, the Abbey is a safe haven for you. Feel free to visit whenever, and if I can provide any kind of information, you and your friends can always come to me, and I will do my best to help you.
That brings me to the last question that I wish to ask you,
And
for
what
it
question is
concerns
that?
only me.
Yes, what question do you have?
While you were under the influence of the darkness, you asked me if I knew what I am. And when the fiend would have you destroy me, it spoke of my not having told my companions what I am. I don't understand what you referred to.
Roll a persuasion check here. Ooh, 18.
And if need be, I can add to that with a nice little thing that I have from being a sorcerer, but
Okay.
is that enough, or do I need to add to it?
What are you adding with the sorcerer?
Favored by the gods.
Okay. I'm gonna say you. I would rule that you should probably do that before you know the results, because afterwards I probably wouldn't allow a roll unless it says specifically that you can change it after you know the results.
Oh, you can change it after you know the results, but I'd kind of like as high a roll as I can get anyway. See how much information I can get out of him. So give me just a moment and I'll roll that.
Okay. Okay, that brings it up to a 20. He looks at you for a moment. You are of otherworldly origins, my dear. You have...
I was born an elf.
Yes, but you might not know your true lineage. While you were born to elven parents, your bloodline stems from angelic origins. Now, granted, I don't know the actual origin itself, but I can sense it just as well as other creatures from planes of existence such as my own. We can tell when someone has angelic blood flowing through their veins, and, well, you have that. Now, that doesn't change the fact that your parents raised you and brought you into this world, but there was something else that you stem from beyond your parents.
How is that possible? Why wouldn't I know?
Some are unaware when they're born with this. You might not have been told. Well, I can tell you that you were not told. I don't know why you weren't told, but I see that there's a great destiny behind it, and you may have been contacted, or maybe you have experienced some things that might have shown that you are otherworldly, so to speak. Why, even your very powers, they stem from your origins. Sometimes there are instances where great trauma brings about the knowledge and finally the realization of these powers. Maybe you didn't experience them before until a great trauma occurred to you. But that is why they are manifesting now.
I was sent back.
Sent back as in died and were brought back to life.
Yes.
That, in my belief, is what started your powers manifesting. Whatever you knew from your life before, things are going to be different now, and it may seem strange at first, but in time, I'm sure you will come to maybe not necessarily accept the changes, but use them for a good.
If it may please the gods, I certainly hope so.
I'm sure.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Is there anything else I can do? If not, I will take a rest.
Not until morning. I did speak truth when I said that I will need to know all that I can about how the enemy operates. But you certainly need all the rest you can get. And I hope that our conversation, even though it did not deal with what you've been through, perhaps in guiding me, you have helped to guide yourself. And you can rest.
Yes, I'm sure that this will be the start to a recovery of my own. Thank you for the conversation, child.
Thank you.
He
And
kind
sleep
of...
well.
Thank you. You too. And he kind of bows his head and kind of rests backward kind of closes his eyes a little bit, and you see a faint glow come from him.
And Tolwyn bows deeply to him, and just outside the door of his room, she prays quietly to Saloon for any help that Saloon can give Lathander in healing him.
As you hold on to your holy symbol, you could feel a warmth come from it, and a kind of faint light emanate from your holy symbol. And you feel that warmth course through your body and ease a little bit of peace into your mind.
Thank you, Goddess. And Tolwyn goes to bed down for the night.
Alright. Does anybody want to do anything throughout the night, or just head into the morning?
Just
Good
good.
morning.
Okay. So morning time comes about. A gray, dullish light outside. You can see a little bit of clouds roll in from the north. Air's getting a little bit chill this morning. It's a little bit colder than the past few previous days, but it's still relatively peaceful around here. Vasilka is kind of like sprawled out in a corner, sleeping. What would everybody like to do for the day?
I'm going to stretch as I come into the room with everyone, and I'm gonna look around. Well, if I say perhaps it's time for us to get going. We've lingered here for quite a while. If the
We have
chaos,
yet to speak with the abbot as
yes,
planned this
I
morning.
understand, but if what Duncan told me of chaos in this land and the unbalance between light and dark is so untethered, I would very much like to set forth.
Yes. In a
What?
saying that I'm sure that my feathered friend here can agree with, the early bird gets the worm.
Well, I
I'm
understand
afraid I
that
don't know what that means.
Oh,
the
that's-
both of you would like to be moving on. I desperately need some more information from the abbot. I am a warrior. I am a strategist. And a good strategist learns all they can of the enemy. Have you not found that to be true, Duncan? I'm sorry, Lord Marbrand.
It's not true. He concedes that.
And Tolwyn smells, winks at you. I'll go see what I can find for our breakfast.
And if that's the case, I think I'm going to head down to the town, make sure that the cart is okay.
I shall join you.
So,
Yes.
I want to check on
breakfast for two
Vasilka.
less, then.
Okay, so Moutan and Duncan are going down to check on the cart. Rocky, you're checking on Vasilka.
Yeah, I just want to see how she's doing.
She's like passed out right now. Not sure how long flesh golems really sleep for, or what would happen if you were to wake her. She seems kind of peaceful right now.
I will leave her with a stick, and then I would like to follow Telwyn and see if I can like sneak behind her and see what she's talking about.
Okay.
So she was going up to see the abbot.
I think she's prepping like a breakfast right now. The abbot hasn't come down yet.
Tolwyn's making breakfast for whoever wants breakfast here, and she really isn't talking. She's waiting for the abbot to come down to talk.
And then for Moutan and Duncan, the trip down takes about like 15-20 minutes as you head down the mountainside, heading into the village itself of Krezik. You see the cart just where you left it, Wait, did you guys bring it up? You or left it down?
We left it down. I don't think that we even brought it up the path. I think
Yeah.
we left it down in the village.
Okay, so you guys make it to the cart. You can see some people just wandering about throughout the streets, getting daily work done. You see people leading different various animals to like different pastures. You see people leading pigs, goats, that sort of thing to different pastures, like kind of herding them around. Just kind of a nice, peaceful little village. A little bit more of a chill comes in. You could see a lot of chimneys going with smoke, but the cart's fine. Nobody seems to have touched it. It's just off to like a small corner, like tucked out of the way.
All right, I want to make sure that the horse is watered and cared for. Just kind of make sure that everything's good to go.
Oh yeah, it looks like she hasn't gotten like water in a little while, just because you guys have been
there
up
you
at the abbey. Nobody's been down to like take care of her for a while. So you get her all watered and fed. Everything seems to be in order. Everything appears to be untouched.
Duncan will turn to Mautan as he's doing all this. You know, if we have things my way, our next destination will be Yesterhill. There's supposed to be another fane there. This one's controlled by some druids. We've actually had a run-in with them in the past, you know.
Oh, druids, they are reasonable folk.
Creepy fellows, if you ask me.
Why is that?
Yeah, they're all demonic.
How so?
They were growing strange horns out of their bodies and wearing these icky shambling robes.
I don't know if that's unusual for druids.
I can't say I've had much experience with them in the past.
I haven't either.
But perhaps we should look for information from these village folk.
That could serve well.
I don't need to do a full-on question everybody, but I wouldn't mind rolling an investigation just to kind of ask around in some local places.
Okay.
And just a reminder, when we were all here originally, and I was playing Inrith, we asked the druids of everybody we could think to ask.
Did we ask about the druids, or did we ask about the winery?
We asked about the winery, and the druids were mentioned to us, and we asked about them.
All right, that's correct. Then I will forgo doing that.
Okay. So you make sure everything's set up down here. You just kind of show Mountain and everything, just kind of show him the horse, everything over here. But do you want to do anything while you're down here?
Want to see something cool, Mautan?
I'm sure.
Doug will take him around to the back of the cart, thrust it open, and show him the throne inside.
It's a lovely chair.
We got this from some gypsies, actually.
What is it for? Does it do anything special?
Well, we found a trap door in it that had some poison, actually.
Oh, dear.
Curious little contraption. We decided to keep it.
I see. Well, it's quite the fancy chair.
Oh, and this. Duncan will bring out a burlap sack and just start pouring out the pieces of the little clockwork boy on the ground.
I'm unfamiliar with this.
I cannot believe you didn't give Altheo back his mechanical son.
No. He had an accident. He was a little bit too adventurous.
Noisy.
Oh. Well. Mechanical things are a little beyond me.
Yes, I have some knowledge of these things, but this is a craft that is well beyond even my reach.
Perhaps someday we can find someone who can fix this thing.
Well, we know of his creator, but man is strange, to say the least. We haven't had a chance to go back since we acquired him.
from the future,
That's-
perhaps.
That's all I got.
I'm ready to go.
Alright. So, are you waiting down here for everybody, or are you going back up to...
Oh, no, we're gonna wait down here.
We
Okay.
can wait down here. We'll prep the carriage and get it all set so we can leave immediately once everyone's finished.
Okay.
Did we actually say we were going to meet down in the town at the cart?
Yeah, they probably would have said so on their way down.
I would hope so. Otherwise, we're hanging it up here waiting for them to come back. They're down there waiting for us to come in them.
Yeah, they would have said so while they were
Yeah.
down there.
It was implied when Duncan said he was gonna go down and check on the cart.
Okay. So, the abbot comes down. He is waking Vasilka gently, kind of leads her to a chair, kind of sits her down. She's just looking around kind of with a dazed look on her face, and he just kind of gives her another kind of almost like a pitying look, and then he goes and sets some plates and food up for her.
Toast of it? I made a fresh loaf of bread and made toast from it.
Sure, I will take some. Your friends are already off?
Some of them couldn't stand another minute here, I'm afraid.
That's understandable.
Not really.
Well, some people might be a little bit disheartened by things going on. You can't really blame them for that.
Forgiveness is a good quality to learn.
Yes, quite right. Well, is there anything I could do for you before you head on out?
Yes, you can eat everything you remember about how the darkness overcame you, and what role, if any, Strahd played in that.
Well, I'm afraid it's rather simple, straightforward. I was something that Strahd saw as pure, and he sought to corrupt me. He employed the use of Cloven, who Cloven was all too happy to administer his experiments upon me, placed the brand upon me which allowed the possession to take place, and, well, from there him and my possessor created the foul beasts you saw around here, and that's what caused the tainting of the Fane around here, which was Strahd's purpose all along. He seems to enjoy corrupting where he can.
The corruption of the Fanes, as I understand it, empowers him.
Yes, he draws power from them, and he also takes delight in it at the same time.
Yes, well, what delights him is repugnant, but not what I need to know. I need to know, firstly, did you learn anything more about Strahd from this? Did you learn anything of the fiend that possessed you? And how did this brand work?
Well, the brand was what allowed the fiend to take hold of my body. The fiend himself was, well, a demon who, not really hired by Strahd, but more so Cloven. Strahd's end goal was just to cause chaos, really. That was his main end goal, really.
Well, not entirely. His main goal will have been to weaken you and the Fanes and turn them to strengthen him.
Quite right.
The Gagari that you said Cloven worked for, who are they?
They are a strange group that believe that life and death, as far as being opposing forces is naive sentimentality. They know that life ends. They know that new life comes from that ending, and time passes, bringing destruction and new creation. They follow a leader who, as far as I know, is able to harness death itself and bring life out of that death. And that is their mandate, is to sow this death so that new life comes from that death.
To what purpose does this in some way aid Strahd?
Well, the purpose was that it caused me to be corrupted and in turn corrupted the Fane, adding into his power. So Cloven was just a tool that he used, nothing more, I'm afraid.
Yes, I'm more concerned with Strahd himself and the specific fiend that possessed you.
Well, the Fiend was not controlled by Strahd himself, that was all Cloven.
I do wonder, however, if the fiend may have been an ally of Strahd's, someone that he
I can assure
perhaps
you
knew
from
and worked with.
I can assure you from first-hand knowledge being possessed by him, the Fiend, the devil, it's the demon, was not in alliance with Strahd, didn't really have anything to do with Strahd.
That is some relief, at least. Very well, I think I have learned all I can that will be of use. Thank you
Yes.
for telling me what you know.
Well, safe travels on your journey, and remember, if you need safe haven, you are always welcome here.
Yes, and if there is anything that I could do to aid you, I imagine with your powers where to find me. Don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you. Farewell.
And you.
Alright. So, as you guys head back down, you make your way down the mountain, you see Mautan and, sorry. I was repeating back, I think someone's mic was on. You see that Duncan and Mautan have set the cart all up and have it all hitched and ready to go down at the very bottom of the hilltop.
Have you learned all you needed to know?
Yes, toast?
I am good.
You don't eat, do you?
Oh, I eat. I just lightly.
Well, I
Doesn't
can
get much
spread
lighter than
toast.
toast, but fine.
Duncan mentioned a what was it? A Yester Hill. He mentioned there was another Fane there that we must cleanse in order to bring balance back to this land.
Yes.
I feel this is a good spot to start.
I would agree. Unless it is possible for us to surveil the place first. Learn
Nice.
more about it and the forces occupying it.
I think that would be a good approach. However, it is far to the south, and we may encounter inclement weather. It might be good if we all grab extra clothing, robes, furs, whatever we can to keep ourselves warm.
Is there a furrier or other garment merchant here?
You guys can make a investigation check to see if there's a garment shop. You guys haven't explored every part of town, so you guys can see if you can find anything.
There you go.
I find all the furriers and garment merchants and whatnot.
Alright, so we got a
Good to know
20
where
from
I am.
Telwyn. Rocky's got a 3. He's just looking around more for sticks rather than the actual shop you guys are looking for.
Rocky is admiring Telwyn's ass.
But Telwyn, you managed to find kind of a tucked away spot, just kind of a more of like a cabin of anything, displaying that there are some furs for sale here that you could conceivably get. They
At
are
least
made
buy
from
the
like some of
furs
like
and
yeah.
have them made into cloaks.
Well, it looks like they should have some set already. Looks like this is what's known as Bartisan's furs.
All right. Well, Telwyn will lead the way inside. Hello?
Duncan will follow.
As will I.
Okay, and inside you see kind of a squat figure just kind of waddling about. It appears to be, it's actually a halfling in here. And he's got like lots of, he's got different kinds of furs on him, just kind of mishmash, not really matching each other. You can see like up on top of his head, just kind of like what looks like a fox's fur, and then like around top is like on his like body itself is like darker furs that don't really match too well with it.
Yeah,
and
we
he's
won't
got
be
like
buying
these,
style here.
yeah, and then he's got like these like white moccasins on.
Excuse me, good man. I'm looking for something that might accent my hat. And he points to his top hat. Perhaps something in mink or ermine.
No mink. Let's see what else I've got around here. I've got I've got bear, I've got wolf hide, I've got some fox hide that you might like. Let's see what else I've got around here. And he starts rummaging through some of like the furs. You can see like he holds up one. He's like, oh, I forgot this part. And it's just like this tail of an animal. He just like tosses it behind him.
Yes, preferably something that doesn't smell and look terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry. Most of these smell, but they warm.
And Telwyn looks to Rocky and says in a stage whisper, so what he really wanted was to come here and find something to match his hat?
Something black, anything. The bear, I guess. We're going south, you see. We just need things to keep us warm.
Yes, I understand. The further south you go, I mean, the colder it gets, so yes. Bear should be very warm, actually. Nice, I've got a few brown bear pelts. I've got a very nice black bear one, though.
Yes, that will serve.
It's just a simple coat, but it does its purpose. It keeps you nice and warm.
Yes, how much?
Oh, let's see here. Black bear pelt, it's a little bit more than the brown bear. I'm going to have to run about maybe 5 gold piece?
Doug gives like a discerning look. 5 gold. Yes.
Telwyn whispers to Rocky, that means it's garbage.
It's quite a good deal.
Rocky just nods and puts his cloak back on.
I mean, you take it or leave it. You're not going to find much better fur traders around.
No, certainly not. But there are other places that we might reach on our way south. They might have other fur traders there.
I have seen master fur crafters from around the world, and you are not one of them.
Listen, my friend.
He looks a bit wounded at that comment, actually. You can see him just kind of like go... You can kind of like see him like breathe in sharply, and he puts a hand over his heart.
That is not very nice. These are lovely furs.
Oh,
I'm just going
trash.
to step forward and hold up 3 fingers and make the sound of coins clinking together and just give him the look. I would like to I want to either like almost intimidating, but more like making sure that he knows, like, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna have you make a persuasion check in this case.
Oh, I'll make a persuasion.
We would do better to buy whatever decent furs he might have and take them elsewhere to have
5.
them tailored.
With a 5. So, Rocky, you raise up the 3 fingers and make the clinking noise. Yes, you want 3. Okay, I get you 3 then.
Listen, the quality of this is not in question. It's rather a matter of price. Forgive me for asking, but do you know who I am?
He kind of like looks scrupulously at you. You
And Telwyn will
human.
grin, look at the little halfling, stage whisper, Lord
I just want to put this in chat. Like, I just want him. He's coming at him from like an angle where he's got the position of privilege going on. Like he's just very lord-like, you know.
Lord,
If men-
Firebrand.
If men and women on the road see me wearing your finery, they will inquire, why is Lord Marbrand
Why
wearing
did
this?
you buy such garbage?
No. Wondering where they get it from. See, I will be a walking advertisement for your fine establishment here. Me and my friends.
Advertisement, yes, very good.
So, if we can negotiate a price, we will depart with your furs, me and my friends. And I guarantee
Speak
you
for
that...
yourself. I'm going to go keep the horse company.
Good riddance. Good riddance.
Yes, that's
was-
what I was thinking.
It's quite
He-
rude of her.
He kind of tries to like put figures together in his head. You can see him kind of counting on his fingers, and then he like loses count, starts over again. I survive. I do less. That's gonna be I'm going to have to say, okay, special deal for you. You are a lord, yes?
Yes, I am.
I don't know very many lords. I know there's a burgomaster here. I've never talked to him myself, but you're like a burgomaster, right? Is that what kind of lord you are?
Well, we deposed a burgomaster, so I guess by extension that kind of makes us the burgomaster. And he like looks back at his friends, kind of like hoping that they'll agree with him. So
I nod.
yes.
Oh, in that case, 1 gold for you, Mr. Burgomaster Duncan? Did you say your name was?
Yes, I did. And I promise you that anyone that sees me on the high road wearing these wonderful furs, they will be directed your way.
Ooh.
I hope that you'll receive much business from this transaction.
He rubs his hands together kind of greedily, and he's like, yes, very good, very good. Okay, 1 gold, not a penny more. I don't know what penny is. Not a copper more.
Duncan makes the transaction, 1 gold for the shabby bear fur.
Ah, yes, very good advertisement. I make lots business now.
Yes, you do. Duncan's like manipulating in his hands, trying to figure out how to put it on.
He tucks the coin away and he just waddles around to the side. If you are needing any more, I've got plenty more where that came from. Not black bear, have you, but I do have brown.
Do you have any loose furs that we can maybe stuff into the wrappings around my arms and in the ones around my leg?
I do have scraps.
Those would do.
Is that loose enough?
Those will be fine.
Alright, okay, come with me. And he just goes over to, like, in this back room. It smells awful back here, and you just see, like, bits and pieces of, like, parts that have been cut off from different coats that just didn't make the cut, and they're just, like, kind of set to the side, but they weren't tanned, like, the best, so there's still, like, that awful, like, smell to them.
100% sincerely, Maltan will look around, his hands folded together. This is a very lovely place.
Oh, yes, it's home. He kind of leans over towards you, just kind of like it with a little raised eyebrow.
So, first?
Yes, well, it's scraps, so I mean, like, maybe 1 copper piece for some scraps, I guess.
Of course. What kind of scraps do I see around?
There's, like, kind of, bits that have been cut off from, like, different kinds of animals. You can see, like, there's some that are obviously from, like, rabbit fur, fox fur. There's a couple of, like, animals, like, goat skins in here as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can see,
Anything
like,
like-
even, like, some of them are, like, feet and tails, too, though.
Are there any like white type furs that would like match or
Yeah.
accentuate my wet wrappings and
Yeah,
all that, and the rest
there's
of my...
some from, like, rabbit skins.
Yeah, I'll get some of those and tuck those into the wrappings along like the cuffs of my wrappings on my arm, and then around the tops and bottoms of the ones on my leg.
Alright, you do that. You go ahead and put those all in there.
Yes. These are very nice. I would thank you very much. I would also like to apologize for my friend. I just met her, actually. My acquaintance. She's a bit rough, but well-meaning, I believe.
Yes, well, it's not every day my stuff gets called trash, but, you know, yeah, not everyone
Yes.
can appreciate art.
I hope this can, this is also to help pay for my fares, but I hope this can settle any hard feelings, and I'm gonna hand him 5 gold.
His eyes just go wide, and he holds the gold pieces, like, kind of in disbelief, and he quickly stashes them away, and he's like, for that, you are... No, you're not employee. What is this? You are customer of the month. What is your name?
I am Mao Tan.
He kind
And I
of
give
takes
him
your
a
hand
bow.
and starts to, like, shake it.
I'll just clasp both his hands between both of mine, and I'll let him shake.
Duncan's just kind of sitting there watching the transaction, arches his eyebrow because, like, he just assumes that Mautan has now taken the place that he once occupied moments ago.
It was a
Yes.
pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you, customer of the month, and he kind of tries to pat you on the back, but he's really short, so it's just kind of like on the small of the back.
I'll give him another bow.
As
And
you
then
bow,
I'll-
he's like,
Quickly
oh,
pats your
now it's
back.
more in closer range, and he starts patting your back.
Good morrow to you.
Ah, good. That's a strange phrase, but I like it. Good morrow.
And then I'll come out of the back room. Everything all set?
I believe so.
And Duncan, as you put this cloak around you, it's pretty ugly, but at the same time, it's really warm, and like, it's a cold day out. This thing is super warm. It's like really
Yeah.
comfortable.
Well, let's not lie. I'm Duncan Marbrand. I can pull it off, all right?
I'll
I can
make it
pull off
work.
the look.
He'll make it work.
He, like, taps his hat forward on his head. Shall we depart?
We shall.
I can nod and head into that part and get in the throne.
You're not getting any... Oh, I guess you already have cloaks or whatever.
Yeah, I've got cloaks and stuff already. I'm set.
I put the entry on my item list as traveler's clothes. I just renamed it to bear pelt.
Okay.
So I just
So-
gave it a weight of 4 pounds or whatever the weight is.
Yeah. So Duncan is currently equipped with like very nice warm clothing for the trip south. It's not the best looking, but somehow he makes it work. It just kind of looks it looks nice on him. On someone else it might not look too great.
And even if people thought that it looked, even if people thought that it looked messed up, he'd just be walking around with a look of self-satisfaction. So they just assume that, like, oh yes, this is something to be emulated.
No. Exit the shop. Hands folded together still.
Duncan's gonna approach the cart and tell them, "You scold me for having a glib tongue, but look at you, insulting every shop owner we come across."
It was very rude of you. This is his
I
work.
only insulted this one, and only because he deserved it.
Did he?
The place reeked like a
This
charnel
is-
house.
A furry. First smell when you
Someday
skin
I
them.
really must take you to the establishment of a quality furrier.
We were at one.
No.
Well, I say, I am ready to go. I am very satisfied with these exquisite furs.
Is everyone in agreement? We're making our way south.
Did
Rock
we
the
not
mud.
want to see if we could first find out anything about our destination and the forces occupying it? Perhaps the burgomaster here would know something of use.
If there's anything that I've learned about burgomasters in this land, it's that they shouldn't be trifled with. The last burgomaster that we had dealings with didn't end well for him, let me put it that way. And the one before that, I mean, he was dead before we even got to him.
Yes, I meant son. The new burgomaster, who seemed a very honorable and kind person. You have not met this burgomaster.
Actually, I think we did. Remember, he told us, he told us about what was going on with his son. And
Well, the
directed us
guards.
to go up to the abbey.
You guys never actually went to the burgomaster's house. The guards
right,
told
right.
you about the burgomaster and that his son had been brought back to life.
And the abbot had also mentioned that he had something to do with the son being brought back to life.
Yeah, that was pre. That was pre. What's it? That was pre-exorcism.
Pre-Talwyn.
Exorcism.
Yeah, pre-exorcism.
All right. I suppose it couldn't hurt.
Okay,
Not sure.
so you guys are going to the burgomaster's mansion.
Yes.
The post house?
Okay, so you make your way to like. It's actually more towards the front of the town, not too far off from the entranceway. It's a relatively nice. It's small, but it's doable. Not extremely elaborate like the burgomaster's house from Valaki or anything like that. But it looks rather comfortable. It's just a small one-story building. There's like a pen in the back. There's strangely no animals in the pen. You would assume it's for animals, but there's nothing really there. It just seems really quiet. Nobody really passes around in here. It's the only house around this area. It's just completely surrounded by trees and just that pasture in the back.
What kind of shape is the house in?
Not bad. It's just like a little modest house. It seems like it's well taken care of, but it's just simple, not fancy, but not in any like disrepair or anything like that.
Humble,
There's just a
but
small-
well maintained.
Yeah, there's just also a small little gate in the front, like with like a little welcome sign in front of it, and also denoting that it's the burgomaster's cottage.
Humble but well maintained. I think that bodes well for the resident.
I guess we'll approach. But I'll have Duncan remove his skins just for now, just so he doesn't offend anybody with the smell.
Okay.
Now you realize there's a problem.
All right.
Shall keep my furs in my where they were.
You head up to the door. Does anybody like knock to go in? Is that what someone said?
Yes, because Tellin's trying to keep upwind of these two.
All right. So you go ahead and knock. There's a short wait. Oops, that's a bit too sinister sounding music.
That reminds me, whatever you had playing during the beginning of last session, that had my spine crawling, and I don't know why. Very effective.
All right. So you go ahead and knock on the door. There's a short wait, and then the door opens, and you see a woman open up the door. She's looking at you. She's kind of a little bit of a lighter skin to her. She's got long black hair. Not super fancy clothes, but they're nice. They seem very comfortable. And she has like kind of a bit of a regal posture, despite kind of her simple nature simple nature.
Good tidings to you, madam. We
Yes.
would like to visit with the burgomaster for a few minutes, if we may.
Yes. I'm sorry. Who are you? I'm not familiar.
We are visitors to your good town. I'm Tulwyn. This is Lord Marbrand. This is Moutan. Did I get your name correctly?
That is correct.
Thank you. And this is Rocky.
Uh, nice to nice to meet you. My name is Anna.
Good to meet you, Anna.
Yes. So you wish to see my husband then?
Yes, please.
Oh, come right this way. And she leads you inside. There's like a small hallway. She kind of motions for you to take your shoes off, actually, just like there's a small space for it. And she just kind of points down at the area and just kind of waits a little bit.
It'll take Tulwyn a minute to get her boots off. But,
I don't think Rocky wears shoes, and so he just kind of
Don't
stares at
either.
her like, "What do you want from me?"
She's mostly motioning at the people that are wearing some shoes.
Duncan will just kick off his boots.
is there anything about this woman that stands out as, I don't know, quality, something that Tulwyn could compliment while she's taking her boots off?
She's got simple like blue cottons on, and it's just like it looks like some kind of cotton fabric, but it's like dyed a blue, and she's got like it looks very warm. It looks very simple, but she looks
That
rather
blue
elegant.
is a gorgeous color, madam, especially on you.
Oh, why, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nice armor, I suppose.
Oh, yes.
Well, anyway, this way, if you'll follow me. She leads you down the hallway. You notice there's a kind of a larger man. He's got kind of more of a pot belly, and he's got like rather long sideburns that go all the way down, a little bit past his chin. But it's got like that front section like shaved off, like like where the very front of your chin is shaved, but like the sides are still there. And he's still got like the mustache and the mutton chops.
Sideburns, is that?
Yeah, he's got like the sideburns and mutton chops and the mustache still, but like the front of his chin's shaved. And then sitting at a table in like this is kind of like a conjoined like living area and dining room. And sitting at the dining room is a young boy, and he's just kind of voraciously eating. And you can hear the man just chuckling, "Slow down, Ilya. Slow down. You eat like pig."
Good tidings to you, Burgermaster.
Aye. Good tidings to you. Who might you be? I'm afraid I have not met your acquaintance yet.
No, you wouldn't have. We're visitors to your town.
Oh, well. Welcome to Kresik. We don't really get many outsiders very often. I'm sure that you are very fine people indeed.
Yes, we just had some business at the Abbey.
Yes,
Let
so
me
you talk to
introduce
the
my
abbot.
companions. This is Rocky. This is
Rocky nods.
Maltan,
Give him a bow.
Lord Marbrand.
Lord Marbrand, eh?
Yes. And I'm Tulwyn.
Well, nice to meet you. I'm sure that you've already met my wife, Anna.
Yes. I don't know where you buy her clothing, but that was a most stunning blue that she was wearing.
Well, we get those from, well, there's a person who deals in fabrics in the town. He makes the finest fabrics in all of Kresik, actually. We bought that from him.
Oh, where could I find this place? I wouldn't mind visiting it just before we leave.
Oh, it's more in the center. It's a man who goes by the name of Yargle.
Thank you. We
I am
can-
afraid... Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, I was just... You've met my wife, Anna. This is my son, Ilya. He points to, the boy that's still eating at the table. It just kind of... The boy doesn't even really look up too much. He kind of waves a little bit. Just kind of half-heartedly keeps eating. And, well, my name is Dmitri.
It is good to meet you, Dmitri. We won't be taking up too much of your time. I simply wondered, do you know anything of Yester Hill?
He kind of looks taken aback a little bit, kind of looks down. What purpose do you have at Yester Hill?
I am afraid that we have business there next, and I wondered what you could tell us of the location and the residents there.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know too much. We don't really deal with them very often. It's home to the forest folk. They keep to themselves mostly, but sometimes people generally travel a little bit too south. Sometimes they can run into
So I
some
take
trouble
it
with them.
that it's a place that people try to avoid.
Generally, yes, it has a...
Can you tell me why?
Well, the forest folk are not very friendly. There was a time, they said, when they were protectors of the woods and didn't cause such trouble, but nowadays it seems that they've turned savage, really.
That's unfortunate. How many are there, do you know?
Oh, goodness. Who can say? Nobody really deals with them very much. They take to themselves, they live in the woods, they congregate around Yester Hill and perform rituals there, from what I know, but no one's quite sure
Interesting.
how much
Have
numbers
you
they have.
heard anything much about these rituals? What do they do?
Only that they worship beings of nature, but not pleasant things.
You said they keep to themselves, though?
Yes, they mostly keep to themselves, so I'm afraid if you're seeking information, I don't have much to give. Not many people in town would.
Do you know anyone that we might be able to get more information from in our way?
None who are alive.
I see.
Hmm.
That does not bode well for our purposes, now does it?
These forest folk seem to be more protective people, secretive, secluded
Protective
perhaps,
of
but
what, though?
their lands, their totems, who can say? But I'm sure.
I suppose we will be finding out.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Burgomaster, I am sorry we have troubled you to no purpose, but I do thank you for your time.
Oh, well, it was a pleasure meeting you. I like to know the people that come into my town, see them, and now I know you. So anytime you're here, just feel free to stop by, say hi.
We will. I think it probable that we will have business with the Abbey again.
Oh, very good. Send my regards to the Burgomaster. He did wonders. He brought my son back to life, you know. My son was dead, and now he's, well, back to good. He has a voracious appetite now, but
So I
he's
see.
good. Yeah, the son's still, like, eating.
And Telwyn will take this opportunity to use Divine Sense and check out the sun.
Okay, so you reach out with Divine Sense. Don't get the sense of any celestials, fiends, or there's what's the last one that?
Undead.
Yeah, no sense of fiends, celestials, or undead on him.
So he seems to be truly back to normal living human.
Yeah, from what your senses go, you don't sense any of those.
I don't suppose you've taken a keen look at him recently, have you?
Not particularly, no.
Like he's not running around with a pigtail or like a leg that looks like a horse's or something like that?
No, he's
Lord
quite back to normal.
Morbrand,
All of his wounds have healed. He's...
what an incredible question to ask. You see the boy? He looks perfectly normal. As normal as you.
You notice, like, around his
Telwyn
neck...
puts just a little bit of a tap on as normal as you.
You notice around his neck there's, like, scar tissue that looks like it was healed over on the boy's neck. But other than that, he is perfectly fine, normal looking.
And other than the appetite, there's been no difference in the boy?
No, but the abbot said that he'd probably exert signs of fatigue every now and then. He seems to just sleep and eat nowadays, but The abbot assured me that he'd go back to normal. After that, he just needs to recover his strength afterwards. Death and resurrection, they have quite a toll, he said.
Yes,
Yes.
the body is normally not meant to receive the soul back once it has left.
That's
It is,
what I was told.
It is trying. How long has it been since the boy was resurrected?
Oh, some few days. Oh, no, it's been actually almost 2 weeks now.
And shouldn't he have been back to normal by now?
Going back to life is quite an ordeal.
It's not something
It's
that
not a
one
2-week
happens.
ordeal.
Sometimes it can be, depending on the soul and the process.
I feel obligated to inform you of some goings-on that happened at at the Abbey recently, and I'll just have Duncan kind of do a quick Cole's Notes breakdown on like what happened up there and the possession of the Abbot.
The abbot was possessed, you say?
The gift of life that he gave to your son is truly something that is unique, but my recommendation is that you take him to visit the Abbot again, to see if there's anything that he can do to fix him.
I would second that.
I will take this into consideration. He kind of looks a little bit troubled at the news from the Abbey, really.
Please, for the sake of your son, don't take it under consideration. Simply do it.
Yes, well. When first opportunity arises, I'll make sure to bring him up there. We should be able to go up sometime today, I believe.
Yes, I think that would be very wise.
Well, if there's...
Again, thank you for your time, and I trust that the abbot will soon have your son completely back to normal.
Yes, hopefully so. I hope nothing's wrong with him. Nothing's wrong with you. Are you, Ilya? The boy just kind of like talks with a full mouth. Feel okay. I'm just tired all the time, really. But, you know.
Well, yes, I think the abbot will be able to help with that.
Hopefully so. Well, I appreciate you stopping in, making yourself known. It was good to meet you. All the
It
Yes.
was good to meet you as well.
Thank you for your information.
Rocky will nod, kind of keep it back to group.
All right.
And Helen will go put her boots back on.
Likewise, Duncan will too. But like as they're walking down there together, he'll do his best to explain their previous encounter with the druids to the new people in the party. And the information that the Burgomaster gave us isn't entirely correct. Unfortunately, the druids aren't as sedentary as he would have us believe. They've been riled up as of late, and something is causing them to come down from their home on Yesterhill. We did encounter them when we were at the Vinters.
That's very peculiar behavior for druids.
But they not necessarily druids. Not at this point. Something has tainted them. Something has twisted them and changed their form and made them into dark creatures. And they summon dark creatures, much like the one that Altheo summoned, the Tree Man.
Certainly sounds like something has corrupted them.
Well, we shall see for ourselves.
Alright. So, what's everybody doing? What's everybody's plan?
Well, we might as well get started on our way to Yesterhill.
Let's do it!
Alright, so you all gather up in the wagon. So who is driving and who is inside the wagon and who is riding on the outside?
Can I
Well,
fly
Selwyn
above
kept
the
the
wagon?
horse company for a bit. How
you
did the
can.
horse react to her?
As you go up, the horse just kind of gives like a little bit of a shake in the cold, but doesn't really seem to react to you in any kind of way.
Yes, the wagon looks kind of like a...
Yeah, Helen isn't making an impression on the horse. She won't volunteer to drive.
wagon looks like kind of a tight fit, and
Actually, it's fairly spacious.
it's still
Maybe not-
Tillin
maybe
will
not for
ride in
wing-
the back and keep
yeah.
an eye on
Maybe not for
anybody
something
who
with
might be
wings,
following.
though.
It's,
Yeah, Duncan can drive.
it's more of a Aarakocra thing. It's a little enclosed and tight knit. I think I'll stay and fly ahead.
Rocky just rolls his eyes and gets in the back. He's so mad.
Alright, so
Onward, horse, onward!
Mountain flies about. Duncan, you snap on the reins. The horse begins moving on its way down to Yester Hill. As the village leaves you, as you leave the village behind, you could see the gates just slowly recede in the distance, getting smaller and smaller as the woods surround you as you make your way further down south.
I'll fly about 20 feet above and then 10 feet ahead, and I'll keep an active lookout for anything.
Okay, so keeping an active look, I'm going to have you roll a perception check as you kind of stay a little bit 10 feet ahead of the cart, flying just slightly above it.
And Tillin will keep an eye out to our rear.
Okay, so anybody keeping looks out can make perception checks during this.
Got a 16.
Alright, 16 from Mountain as he leads the way forward. Telwyn's got an 11 from behind, still kind of dwelling on some thoughts, really. Mountain trying to keep a weather eye out. It's kind of cold up in the air. It's getting pretty chilly as you head further south, but as you make your way down, nothing really stands out. You make your way past the fork in the road that says to the west Wizards of the Wines and to the south Yester Hill at this point. At this point I'm trying to see, let's see, time, measurement, distance. So from Kresik to the winery it's about 20 miles. So it gets up until like mid-afternoon at this point as you get to the winery, closer into the getting almost to evening, not quite. It's around mid-afternoon though.
I'm trying to think. This is just out of character. Do you guys think that we should check back in on the Wizard of the Wines to see if the druids have been active since we cleared them out?
I think that would be an excellent idea, and besides, perhaps they can give us shelter for tonight.
That's what I was
What
thinking
time of
too.
day is it?
It's about mid-afternoon.
We don't need.
Okay.
We have time to get there.
Yeah, I think we can make it there by. We can make it there by sundown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get there by dusk at this rate.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's
okay.
fine.
That's cool.
And on the way, Tillin will try to keep Rocky's mind off of the flying bird. Just talk to him about various things she's seen during her travels in the past.
He will listen and work on his comma. I can make another check if you'd like.
Okay, yeah. As you go ahead and keep working on the comma, you're listening to Telwyn talk to you as you try and get the carvings just right on this. You know that eventually you can get it just to the point where you want it. You're just trying to figure out how you saw it in the vision and making it a practicality, making it real. So 17, you start to get there now. It starts to shape up a little bit more the way that you want it now. You're getting the engraving close to finishing. You just got like some more finishing touches that you feel that you want to get in. And as dusk comes along, you get this not a heavy fog, but just a light fog is starting to roll in a little bit.
I'm gonna
It's a
fly
little bit
10
more of
feet
a-
lower once the fog comes in.
Okay, it's just a little chill at the moment. Hold on, this is kind of loud. For me, anyway. Okay, as you crest up to the hill, you notice you're getting a little bit higher up into the air. It just takes you up through like a winding path through these trees. You look around and sometimes shadows come about that look like shapes and figures, and then you look a little bit closer and you realize they're just shadows of the trees moving about in the wind. Um, there doesn't seem to be anybody moving about. It's just every once in a while you get the sense that like someone's moving around, and then you take a closer look and it's a trick of your eyes.
Roughly how far out are we from our destination? Or do we have any idea?
You're about you feel like you're at the bottom, like, or more so like this is like around like a middle way of up the hill right now. Um, it's starting to get a little bit dark out. The sky is a little bit through the clouds, a reddish hue right now, casting like a little twilight over the land right now.
Duncan will like rein up on the horse and then like open up the little slat that lets him look into the back of the cart. I know it's getting dark, but I don't think we should take this cart any further. It might be better to proceed on foot, especially if we expect there to be resistance. We can sneak in and get a look. Perhaps we'll be safer.
Rocky will nod and hop out and just cloak around him and get ready to go.
I'll stay in the air.
Duncan will like retrieve his goods and kind of hop off the cart. He'll walk up to Rocky. I want you to remember exactly where we parked.
I've got that still memorized. I'll just nod at Duncan.
Alright, as you make your way further up the hill, you can see the grass becomes less full of life now. The grass seems to be more dead and cracking as you get higher and higher up the hill. You can see small cairns every once in a while set into the ground, just kind of like these shallow old tombs that have been built into the ground itself. The clouds are growing a little bit more of a dark, ominous color, and you can kind of see the top of the hill now as you make your way up. I'm actually going to move the map over for you guys.
How does it compare to when you were here before? Does it look the same or changed?
Well, we were never here before, to be honest. We were in the winery before. But this seems to be the kind of place where I can imagine a bunch of creepy druids would hang out.
So, is this on the map yet for you guys? Did I switch it?
Yep.
Okay, so each of these squares is about 10 feet.
We can
map's
see
totally
see
black for
everything.
me.
Oh, hold on.
I've got total black.
Total brightness.
Let's go ahead and see. I'll try and check on yours, Telwyn.
Duncan's normally really fearful in these circumstances, but they've dealt with the druids once before and they were reasonably successful, so he's fairly confident going forward.
Not sure. It says you should have
Much
control
better.
over your token.
I have control of my token. I just didn't. Am I supposed to be able to see everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can anybody see? Can everybody see?
I can see.
Yes, I can see
I
now.
can see.
I can see.
Oh look, Osman is here.
Yeah, I gotta move him off the map because I thought he was gonna be here tonight.
And Rocky, your health, what's wrong?
Oh, I never reset my hold on.
You might want to make sure you do that.
Yeah, it's probably important.
Alright, as you crest your way up the hill, you can see figures standing around. There's like a shallow, like a small set of stones making a circle over in here. Throughout the sides of the hills, there you can see on these, you should be able to see it on the map, but in the sides of the hills, there are these dirt trails that run along these concentric rings of cairns. These cairns are kind of set into the ground. They're like mounds of slimy black rocks just set into the earth itself. And atop the hill, you can see this wide ring of these black-looking boulders with smaller-looking rocks that form this makeshift wall, enclosing a field of looks like all dead grass completely. You could see that there's this ghastly 50-foot tall statue made of woven twigs and pieces of wood all together. It's kind of packed with earth itself too. It seems to resemble a towering cloaked man, and around it you could see shapes of all these people just kind of forming a ring in front of it, and there's looks like three people kind of addressing the crowd up there. But you guys are a good, how far back are you guys right now?
Quite a lot, quite a ways.
I typed this in, but what's our marching order?
I'm good with what we got here. We can always just shift yourself around, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Real quick, actually. So with shadow thing we fought, my strength is reduced. Has that reset?
With a long rest, yes, that has reset.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Do
you
you
guys
by
are about
any
100
chance-
feet away right now.
Do you know how much it took off of me? Because I'm at 5 now.
Your strength is at 5. I think you were at 8 originally.
Sounds about right.
Duncan's gonna hold up a hand when they come into view of the wicker structure there, and like just this mound essentially, and just get everybody to halt. Like they should be careful. He's gonna look to Mautan. Do you think you can go up and get a better look?
Oh, of course. Fly up higher.
Okay.
I'll go. How thick is the fog? You said it's not that thick.
No, it's not that thick. It's mostly just like along the ground a little bit. It's receded a little bit as you've gotten higher up, actually. You've kind of left it a little bit behind as you've moved
I'll
up.
fly a little closer and get about 40 feet up and have a look at the circle and the wicker and all that.
Okay. Are you making stealth at all, or just flying up normal?
Stealth. 15.
Okay.
He's flapping very, very slowly.
As you flap your way forward, you could see these figures all standing around. They seem to be wearing almost like strange like carcasses. Some of them have like masks on their faces, some with like, and then horns on the top of the masks. You can see some of them like are just like completely bare-chested males that are covered in mud and like face paints of all kinds. Some of them have staffs. Some of them are wielding axes, though. And you could see in the very center, right in front of the statue, kind of talking in a strange language, this figure that's wearing like a complete face mask, almost like a almost like a, you know, like a cow skull, really,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like
Yeah.
that over on her face, and there's also giant horns protruding from that. And then standing to the side of her are two other figures. One of them is heavily clad in armor. He's got
shit.
long black hair, extremely pale face, and he's got a huge warhammer at his side. And another one you see is a woman. She's got like kind of leather armor, long black hair as well, also pale skin, and she's kind of fiddling with a knife that she keeps like throwing up into the air. As it twirls, she catches it as it comes back down again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the bastard that killed Enrieth, isn't it?
It might
You don't
be.
know.
You can't
You
see
don't
this from
see
here.
him.
I'm just it's a character. I'm wondering.
So those two, those latter two, they look very different from the rest of the
Yeah, they look
druids.
pretty
They
different.
look very much non-druidic.
Yeah. You see the heavy armor-clad one kind of whisper something into the what looks like the main druid addressing everybody right now, and then he takes a step back, and then the druid begins addressing everybody in the circle again. I don't think you speak druidic, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
Do I see anything else or hear anything? further?
You can make a perception check to look around, see if you notice anything else out of the ordinary.
15?
You notice like a strange glowing green coming from the statue itself. It's kind of a faint glowing green coming from the chest of the statue kind of pulses every once in a while.
Hmm.
And you can see all at once the people in the ring start chanting all at once, and you could see kind of you could see like these roots are kind of slowly, steadily coming up out of the ground, and they start to wrap themselves around those in the clearing, and you could see like this green energy pulse up towards them, and you notice it goes back down through the roots again, this time with like a kind of more of a whitish glow. And so like this green comes up to the roots, up to the people in the figure that the roots are wrapped around, and then the white glow goes back downwards once again.
Okay. I'll flight back and land in front of Duncan and the rest of the group, and I'll relay everything that I've seen and heard. Or been, I guess not heard, but yeah, everything I saw.
So, the Wizard of the Lines has been reoccupied by forces of evil.
Oh, I have no clue, but this hill seems to have some strange
I think
people.
you do have a clue. The
Well, I haven't.
description I was given of the family that owned the winery, they probably were not into anything like this.
No, this isn't the winery.
We're not at the winery.
We're at Yester Hill. We're not at the winery.
And staying there and then going to Yester Hill.
Oh, okay. We had that discussion, and then we asked how long it would be to get straight to Yester Hill, and then when Pat told us, we just said, "Oh, okay, we'll just go there."
Yeah, I don't think that was such a great idea.
Well, something stopping us from going back. We can leave.
I think while we're here, we might as well proceed.
There's so many of them, and they're in a fortified position on the top of that hill.
There are 4 of us, and probably about
I
10 times
counted-
that many of them.
I counted
Plan.
about 15 of them.
Plan would be very useful. Some way to maybe
We
split up
don't
their
have
numbers.
one.
Well, then let's talk and let's make one. Goodness.
Settle down. I suppose. I mean, we don't know that their intentions are ill. They could just be performing some sort of nature ritual. We have no
You
idea.
saw the nature around here. This is not a nature ritual.
Could be. I don't know much about druids. I don't know how much you know about druids, but
They are not my specialty, but druids seek to preserve the land in its optimal condition, and this is not optimal condition.
they could be fighting the same forces as we are. We do not know them.
Last time we encountered them, they were fighting us.
Have you encountered these specific druids?
Well, no, but do they
I
have
think
creepy
Duncan
masks and
refers
strange
to-
horns?
I think Duncan refers to the 2 who appear to be in command here.
Yes, they do not seem very druidic. I couldn't get a good read on them.
If I could get closer, I could tell you at once whether they are who Duncan believes them to be. But I am not equipped for stealth at all.
As you guys are having this conversation, hold on. Yeah,
Quietly,
Telwyn,
in whispers.
you actually, what's everybody's passive perception?
Well,
Telwyn's is 14.
12.
Okay. Telwyn, you actually see them. There's 2 figures that are starting to break off from that circle up there, and they seem to be flying through the sky, heading in like a northeast direction.
there's what?
You see 2
Wait, what was that bring
figures.
them right towards us?
You guys are a little bit more north. They look like they might pass a little bit close to you guys, but you see 2 figures flying through the sky.
Do they look at all at a quick glance like Duncan described?
Oh, I never described anybody. Number one.
As you look up,
Well, never mind that then.
as you guys look, you can see that, you could see that one of them is covered heavily in armor, kind of like a plate armor, long flowing black hair now in the wind as he's flying through the air, and woman in like leather armors with her long flowing black hair
Quickly, divine sense.
as well. What's the range on that?
Let me check. Here we go.
So they're about 80 feet out now.
60 feet range.
Okay, you can wait for them to get a little bit closer.
Okay, I wait until they're within 60 feet, then divine sense.
Alright, you divine sense out, and you sense 2 undead.
Oh no. And from this distance, I'm assuming that Duncan would at least be able to recognize them.
And knowing that vampires, as I suspect these to be, have extremely keen senses, Tillman throws up a hand for silence from the group until they are out of range of hearing. And once they've passed out of hearing, those were undead. And divine sense, she would also know the type. Are they vampires?
You get the sense that, yeah, this would be vampiric.
Those were 2 vampires that just flew overhead.
As you look, you can see the male look down at you guys as he flies a little bit overhead. He from the distance, you can see kind of what looks like a faint smile on his face, but they keep flying in a northwest direction.
As a free action, No, I can't. I was gonna give him the bird.
Oh my gosh.
The bird gives them the bird.
The murder bird gives them the bird.
Chandler wants to know if we're still playing and if he can come up, jump in.
Yeah, we've still got like 40 minutes or so if he wants to hop in.
Cool.
We've had the unfortunate pleasure of running into those 2 before. It didn't go so well.
I thought they might be the ones you spoke of.
I believe that they are. They felled one of our comrades at the time.
Your friend Inrith.
Yes.
Well, out there gone, perhaps the druids will be more open to talk.
Or less if we knew that they've been here on the behalf of the master of his lands.
Chin up. And I'm gonna turn and start to walk up the hill.
You crazy! And Duncan will just kind of like chase after him.
Rocket just watches.
I think it is safe to say that your foes, Duncan, are in league with the druids or whoever these people are.
Rocky nods in agreement.
I was certain of that the first time we faced them.
Well, the vampires would be the most difficult to defeat, I think. So perhaps now is the time to defeat the druids.
There's no need to talk about defeating before we've talked.
You shall see, shan't you?
Oh my gosh. You're just gonna walk right in there, aren't you? You son of a bitch.
There's no harm in
He's
talking.
going to fly in there.
I am walking.
Oh, sure, I guess. Wait, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, hi. Hi, everybody.
What up?
Sure. What am I saying here?
Probably. Hey guys, what are you up to?
So you have
We are
followed.
approaching-
You've followed them up this hilltop. Leading up, there's like these stone cairns all set up into this hilltop around here. Just kind of strange, ominous vibe. You could see like this giant circle of these people that are garbed in what you can assume to be like kind of druid garb, and there's other people that are bare-chested, covered in mud and face paint, wielding like axes and things like that too. But you would have also seen this as you're coming up the hilltop. You would have seen two figures flying northwest. One of them clad extremely heavily in armor, long, straight black hair, extremely pale face, and then also a woman in leather armors as well, also with long black hair. And they were just flying northwest, or northeast, I'm sorry.
Depending on how close to us you were, you might have also seen that we were whispering, and then Tellen threw up her hand for silence and stared intensely at the two flying overhead, and then whispered something urgently to the others.
Yeah, and they also, the two of them, those people flying, well, the vampires, looked down and saw you guys, but kept going northwest or northeast without really saying anything to you all. They just kept flying.
With any luck, that will prove to be a very bad mistake on their part.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But so you come up behind us and ask what's going on?
So, you hear a slight, discordant banjo twang, and I go, oh shoot,
shite.
I apologize for that. That is my bad. What is going on?
Whirls around and looks to see if we were heard.
Oh, Osman. How delightful.
Were we heard?
You can make a perception check on the people on the hill. With 7, it's a little hard to
Apparently
see.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see. I mean, you are about like 100 feet away at the moment. Everybody looks to be kind of in a calm state. They're no longer...
Can I try separately for hearing? Can I hear whether there was a sudden pause?
Perception's all going to be like all in the same thing.
Drat.
I could try, I suppose. Listen, it's good that you're here. It's good that you're here. This is man. This is your friend Mautan. Like, he's just assuming that they have a prior relationship. He's crazy. He's trying to go in there and talk to them. We don't know if they're evil.
No, we don't know if they're good either. Don't really know that unless you talk.
Look, Mautan's got a kind heart. He just thinks of things a bit too black and white sometimes. And I get close to Duncan and I kind of whisper, look, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly don't know if these bird creatures can only see in black and white, or this is like a weird spectrum color thing, but either way,
Listen, he's a diplomat. Those are important and valuable, but now is not the time, and these are not people. He's making himself target.
Duncan will just think about it for a second. Well, at the very least, he'll be a distraction. Might give us a chance to get into a better position.
that is
How-
very
how
true.
did you-
That is
how
very
did you
true.
say
Rocky
that?
nods. Rocky nods.
Listen, if it comes to battle, stay back for a moment. I have something for them.
I
Well,
have something
coming.
for them as well. If we have to enter any sort of unfavorable conditions, or they are not the diplomatic type, I suppose.
Rocky
Yes, well,
pulls out
what
his
I have
comma.
for them will get a large number of them at once.
Rocky pulls out his comma and says, I have something for them as well. And just gives a Kenku smile.
All right.
Yeah, well, just in case he's right, keep that hidden.
It's settled then. You can go in there and do your thing, and hopefully, we're hoping for a good result, and Diplomacy.
I'm not saying that I won't need help, just
Oh,
that
no,
I
no,
can
no, no,
get
no.
started.
I'm referring to our feathered friend.
Our diplomat.
Out of game, Patrick, did we ever long rest? or
Yes.
anything? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Just wondering. You know if I get these inspirations back.
Yep. You're all long rested.
But do your best not to give us away. We'll try to sneak into a better position to support you should things go wrong, but...
Oh, none of you wish to come along?
Mautan, I was just about to say, actually, I am pretty good about not being seen. I have been following you guys for about 30, 40 minutes now, so I think, Mautan, if I come
Let
up
me
behind
ask
you, I might
this,
be able to...
Malton.
Hold on, the halfling was talking. What were you saying,
The
Asmund?
question was important.
It's okay, Telwyn. It wasn't that important. If you wanted to say something, go for it.
Thank you. I just wondered, Malton, do you intend to address them, or were you going in stealthily?
I was going to talk to them.
Then I think I should come with you.
Very well. Just remember, we are here to seek
Pray
out
continue,
peace.
Osman. What were you saying?
Well, I was just saying, Mautan, I am pretty good about hiding in your shadow. I could just do what I do best and remain out of sight behind you. Just a bit of backup, just in case.
That would be wise.
Plus, I am pretty
Yes.
good at talking to people.
You're on a diplomatic mission.
Well then, why don't we all just go in together?
Well, we don't need everybody in at once, especially if some people work better at a range than up close.
I'd like to begin at range, yes.
Maybe they'll think there's just 2 or 3 of us. Bit of surprise.
How about Rocky and Duncan remain hidden at first so that they think we are few?
I'm
The
fine
two
with
of
that.
you go in, you hidden under his wing. He does the talking, and if talk fails, quickly get out of the way so I can use a ranged attack.
That sounds like a plan.
Let's go then.
Mautan, if you would be so kind. And I gesture to the wing.
I was about to say, I lift up my wing very slightly so that he can slip inside, or slip behind it. Between it.
All right, Bird Brain, follow me. I'm referring to Rocky.
Yeah, I follow him.
Perhaps
Now-
we should call them Bird Brain number 1 and Bird Brain number 2.
No, Mautan's not Bird Brain. He hasn't
Well, that just,
gotten a nickname yet.
that just seems to be your term of affection for bird people.
Now, DM, real quick.
Uh-huh.
We can't hear you.
Sorry, I don't know if that didn't work. Current weather situation. What am I looking at with shadows?
It's evening out, so I mean,
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I thought so, but I wanted to make sure before I was like, I'm going to jump into this shadow here, and there's actually no shadow.
yeah, I mean, there's darker shadows. I would say you'd have to well, it's nighttime, so like everything's kind of like darker. Like along the tree lines, there's definitely shadows. And all the cairns are casting shadows as well, and the stone wall. Also, to give another context, Chandler, so that stone wall all around it, there's all those figures in a circle, and then in front of them is like this giant 50-foot tall statue made of twigs and branches and things like that, in the shape of a man, and there's these roots that are coming up out of the ground, like wrapped around a bunch of the figures, and
Like some kind of wicker being.
yeah.
Yeah, like a wicker man.
Wicker entity.
Yeah.
Not the bees!
A wicker guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
A wicker hominid.
Wicker male.
A wicker dude. Cool.
A masculine wicker effigy.
What
Boom.
as we approach, I'm gonna gesture to Duncan and point over towards this direction right here. And cock my head to the side because I want to see if I can teleport over there and hide there, kind of in range but out of range.
Wait, where'd you ping?
Just to the east of the circle, there's a little stone that looks like it's casting a little shadow right here.
Okay, so you'll have to get a little bit closer because you can only teleport, I think, what, 60 feet? But
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's 60 feet.
you can move forward a little bit, and then bamf over.
Okay, I'll walk the perimeter along these cairns here with you to get close.
Yeah, good idea.
Do you want us to do like sneak checks or anything like that?
Yes, if you want to stealth, go for it. If not, I'm just going to assume that you're not stealthing.
Yeah, I'm stealthing. 24.
They are stealthing.
So 26 and 24. You guys are one with the shadows right now.
And after I bamf, I would like to hide.
Alright, so you take the hide action.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give, like, right before I bamf, I'm gonna give Rocky a very gnarled and twisted stick. And then I'm gonna grab my doll in my inventory. And I'm gonna switch the head to a winking eye head, and then kind of twist it slowly so that it's looking at him, and give him a thumbs up, and then bam, just right after that, no context whatsoever.
You're giving it to me, I assume.
No, I'm just gonna show it to you. So I'm gonna it's facing the ground, and then I just like slowly turn the head like doll style, so that it gives you this winking eye, and then just bamf out.
That bird is fucked.
Alright, so getting a little bit closer, Rocky, you can see that all these people in the circle here, they look like they're in like some kind of trance-like state. So the roots are kind of like embedded into, you can see like the roots come around, they're not wrapped around, they start to twine around, but they actually embed themselves in their legs. And you can see like this pulsing energy coming out from their bodies, going down through the roots, and every time it does that, you could see it takes like a couple seconds, and then the statue itself kind of glows a little green and pulses a little bit.
It's simple. We kill the Batman.
And the figure leading them, she's got like that cowhead mask and the horns. She's still kind of reciting what sounds like some kind of chant over and over again.
As we get a little bit closer, I'm gonna look under my wing to Osmond and then look at Telwyn and say, "Remember, we must try to find the most peaceful way to go about
Diplomacy
this."
first, yes.
I look at the
If it-
banjo and I say, "You got that?"
And if it comes
Oh
to
my
violence, if it comes to violence, which let's pray it
If
does
it
not.
comes to violence, fall back and let me attack from range first.
Also, Chandler, do you like that you're tiny now?
I do appreciate that I'm little now.
If it comes to violence, let's remember they are still people, and we mustn't harm them beyond total repair.
Oh yeah, you don't have to tell me.
We harm them as much as we have to.
And I give Talon a little side look and then get to the entrance of this little circle.
Alright. As you go up to this entrance, you see the figure in the center of the circle stop doing their chanting, and they look over at you. You see the rest of them, they still don't respond to your presence at all. They seem to be kind of in this trance-like state, and you can see also, yeah, those roots are embedded into them, kind of energy flowing out of them and in through the roots.
Mm-hmm. I'll
And-
stand near the entrance with my hands folded together like per usual.
Oh, did I
And
need to make a
just-
stealth check?
If you
for
want to hide.
hiding? I
Yeah.
am hiding
Okay.
in the wing.
Yeah, go ahead and hide.
Just so you know, Telwyn isn't right
Oh
beside
my god, nat 20.
them or anything.
Oh shoot!
She's
Sneaky
hanging
boy.
back about 10 or 15 feet and acting like security.
Okay. She's like a bouncer.
Yeah. Kind of scanning the crowd, seeing if anybody's going to be a threat.
She's given some ocular pat downs.
Yes.
You said the leader noticed me?
Yeah, the leader noticed you. He doesn't see Osmond at all.
Of course not. I don't even remember that Osmond's in there.
Yeah, you don't even see him. You're just like, huh, Osmond's gone.
Oh, he's really good at that. I'm gonna give a nice little low bow. I'll hold it for a couple seconds and then rise up.
The figure just kind of starts talking. Let's see here. Well, you hear what actually sounds like a female voice. And it's talking in, well, it first starts off as Druidic. I don't think anybody speaks that. And then it changes over to
No.
And then it changes over to Elvish for a second.
Yes.
Still do not speak that.
Nobody's-
Telwyn does.
Okay. Telwyn, you hear in Elvish. Who
And
are
Telwyn
you?
says, yes. Who are we? We are strangers passing through who would like to speak with you.
What business do you have on Yester Hill?
Well, you see, I am just the bodyguard. This gentleman here is the person who, he's really good at talking. I could translate, and if you will give me a minute, I will do that. And Telwyn turns to Maltan
Well, ask him if
and
he speaks common first.
translates what she just said. That didn't occur to Telwyn, so this is what we're doing.
I see. Does he speak common or not? Tell him that is fine.
I will
Alright,
ask.
Oh, are you asking that, Maltan?
Yes.
I can speak this foul tongue if you wish.
Whatever you prefer. If you would rather speak Elvish, I would be happy to oblige and let her translate.
If it means not having to utter this ugly language, then yes.
I'll give him another bow. Then let us commence with negotiations, and my acquaintance shall translate for me.
Not to fear, I speak fluent Elvish.
What
She says to her
business-
in Elvish.
What business do you have on Yester Hill once more? I may ask.
We've just come. We've heard that there's been some disturbances and upsets in balance in this area, and only sought to investigate and see what we can do to set anything right or assist.
The balance. It is coming, surely, as the roots go down, as the trees climb. The balance is coming. Yes, long time has there been no balance in these parts, but that will change in time.
Good, I am glad to hear that. If you do not mind my asking, what's this ritual for?
We are giving life to the land. My faithful brethren, they give their lives to nourish the land around them, as you can see. And she gestures at all the people in the ring that are currently tethered up to all the vines and the roots.
It is very noble of them to sacrifice themselves for such a cause as restoring this land.
Yes, it is the way of things. Once all the life has been given, they will see the change that they have sought for so long.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. You haven't seen anything dark or ominous or disruptive?
No, nothing dark or ominous. We have been shown the ways. We were misguided for hundreds of years, but now the land can truly flourish once more.
You were shown by whom?
Those that walk the night, they have shown us many wondrous ways. They seek to bring us back to the old ways, back to... She kind of shivers a little bit, kind of trembling, kind of with excitement almost. They bring us back to the ways of Kavan.
Do I recognize that name at all?
You can make a history check, actually.
History?
Yeah, history check for this.
Patrick, I wrote you a
21.
note.
Okay. So tell when you want a divine sense to see all around here.
Yeah.
No sense of
Celestials, fiends, or undead?
You get like this strange like blip, almost like I want to say like a radar blip, but like it goes and then it disappears, almost like it was there for 1 second and then just gone. So like you reach out with your senses, you can almost sense like it's hard to even place what it is though, because it's just gone in a flash. And it seems to like sporadically come back and then disappear again almost as soon as it was there.
Well, the description of divine sense says you know the location and type of any within 60 feet. So I didn't get a read on the type.
It showed up for like a split second and then just vanished. You can almost swear it's...
Oh, so I didn't sense it long enough to find out the type.
Yeah, it almost gets like... You don't get the sense of like fiend or celestial. It almost feels like an undead nature. But it's almost too quick to register.
Interesting.
And then Mount 10 with a 21 history. You've heard... Yeah, 21's pretty good. You've heard tales of old tribes that followed under the mantle of someone named Kavan, who was... he was a long time ago was a barbarian chieftain who traveled throughout the wilds of the land. He tried to gather many different tribes under his leadership, trying to bring change to some of the other barbarian tribes. He actually shared a lot in common with, vampiric traits, really. He liked to sleep in the ground. He liked to cover himself in like the dirt and the earth around him and sleep with just like his head exposed only, so he could still breathe at least. But it was also said that while he wasn't actually a vampire, he would, after killing enemies, drink the blood from them and almost gain like a sense of power from it. Like it would infuel like his rages. But over time, he wasn't able to get all the tribes. There were other tribes that felt that he was warmongering and that he was a danger to a lot of civilization in general. And there were some tribes that actually opposed him and actually struck him down. Some of his followers mostly fled, and they became more wild than usual barbarians. But he, long ago, from what your knowledge tells you, he passed away long ago.
Do I remember like any of his teachings? Did they sound like they were like disruptive? I guess I don't want to say like good or evil. He doesn't really
it was
distinguish one as better than the other, but
Yeah.
really
Only
sound
a
disruptive.
Sith deals in absolutes.
Yeah, he was more so just like, he kind of had a bloodlust to him. He wanted to unite kind of the world under the banner of barbarians. Like he wanted that kind of world, like kind of a primal nature to the world. He disliked civilization, wanted to tear civilization down. um, and did his best to gather as many tribes as possible to tear down civilization as everyone knew it.
Okay. And you said his name was Kavan?
Yeah, and you also know that he went to like any extreme that he could, like even
Yeah.
if it meant causing harm to nature itself in some case, if it meant over time that nature would rise up again,
Mm-hmm.
he was willing to do what it took to
Okay.
make sure that happened.
To the druid. Kavan. I'm familiar with his legends. Uh, quite an old way.
Yes, it's been long since any followed his teachings, his ways. The wilds, they need to be free of civilization, to be gone with it. Only then can the wilds truly be free.
I understand the sentiment, but there are other lives and other beings to consider in this. They are just as much part of nature as the wilds are they not? All
You're saying
people are connected to the land.
I don't see how civilization is connected to the wilds. They are tainted by civilization. Those people that live there.
Are they?
Yes, they don't
How
know the
so?
ways.
I'm gonna take a step forward. People are derived from nature, are they not?
Originally, yes.
We all belong to this land. We all belong to the land of this planet. We come from it. We thrive off of it. We live off of it. Everyone is one and the same, in some way or the other. When we die, do we not go back and nourish the earth that we came from?
She kind of thinks about this for a second. I suppose so.
Yes, and in turn, do we not build upon and live with the land in one way or the other, whether it's through civilization or in the wilds? We all still use and coexist with the world and nature.
But many of those that, so you say, coexist with nature tear it down. They destroy the trees to build their cities. They build their towns, their civilizations, and destroy all around them. They, you're saying, are in tune with nature?
Do they not still live inside wooden houses? Wood derived from trees? True, it is a tree that is chopped down, but it never disappears. It is still, in its fundamentals, a tree. It has only changed form.
She
Nothing
looks
is
down
truly
to
gone.
she looks down to kind of consider this. As she's doing this, Rocky and Duncan, you notice that the statue is pulsing ever so faster. Just not like rapid pulsing, but like the pulses are coming faster and faster until when, with the divine sense, you get the blips keep coming back stronger each time now, coming
Oh
from
my god.
all throughout the hilltop actually, and it's a undead nature. They seem to be traveling under the ground actually, and looking out backwards, you see the remains of well, it was once a tree. It seems to have been split, and it looks like a part was pulled off of the tree, and now there's like kind of half of one here, kind of withered. But you sense like all of these pulses heading and assembling in that general direction, kind of down further over here.
Okay.
Can I
Tilden's going to
use-
quickly try something. She's
Can I
going
use,
to look at Maltan and say in Celestial, we are about to be attacked.
I'm going to look at her and raise like a little. Do I have eyebrows? I don't know if I'd have an eyebrow. Raise an eye. Also, I wanted
You
to
could
use.
cock your head.
Well, I don't want to give too much of an indication. Can I also try to use a persuasion to based off of all the stuff that we've been talking about to this druid?
Yeah, definitely.
No.
You've actually been making like some good arguments. I'm gonna say go ahead and roll with advantage on this.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Uh,
an,
Oh no!
Yeah, it's already.
that's an 8.
Dismal.
Can I use a luck point?
You can.
Yeah, I'll use a luck point. Go ahead and re-roll that.
Is that still with advantage?
No, it's just one more roll,
You just one straight roll.
One more extra.
but you have to use the next roll. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's an 18.
Um,
For a second,
with
you
the
feel
luck,
like,
can't you choose?
Huh?
Can't you choose with the luck?
No, you have to take whatever you roll the next time.
Yeah.
You have.
Okay.
So you feel like you're faltering for a bit, but then you realize you compose yourself and reach out to this this woman standing before you, ghastly as she looks, but she seems to be taking to heart what you're saying. I don't understand. How could we? We were told that the only way for the forest to thrive was, well, civilization had to be wiped out.
My dear, there is always more than one way. Anyone who tells you otherwise is hiding something. What does your heart tell you?
She kind of reaches and puts her hand where her heart should be. I have not ever asked myself that.
Let your heart be your guiding key. And I'm gonna turn to Telwyn and then Celestial. What is it that you see?
There are
And kind of whisper
undead.
that. Sorry.
There are undead plants. I think they are assembling, drawing closer.
You know where?
Everywhere.
They seem to
Yeah.
be traveling to one specific location,
The
from what you can
statue.
tell.
Converging on us.
No. So like, you can sense like it
Or is it
comes
that
from like
tree?
all around through the hilltops, through the different cairns actually, but they seem to travel underneath the earth.
Underground.
Yeah, and are gathering in front of that tree, the remains of the ruins of a tree.
But the tree still means that they're approaching us.
No, they're going past you. The tree is to the south of the standing stones, the center of the circle.
Yeah. So you guys are a little bit south of you. Like even ones like north of you, you sense these like passing below you underneath and heading south, converging around that tree, which is about 40,
Okay.
about
then
40, 50 feet away from
Helen
you.
will quickly say they travel underground and they are converging on that tree.
I'm to the druid. Pardon me, I never got your name.
My name. You wish. My name is. It's Tilana.
Tilanon, I am Mautan. I'll give her a bow. This ritual, it wouldn't have anything to do with that tree, would it?
The tree, we ripped the essence from it. Kuzma ripped the essence from it. He was one of ours. Sent it to attack the winery. Some artifact we were looking for, but we've been able to... Well, what we were told is we were to channel our life forces, and life would grow from the grounds, from the roots. New life would grow from the roots.
My acquaintance here, she's very attuned with the light, and she senses some dark energies coursing into that tree. I fear you might have been tricked. I do not wish to smudge anyone's reputation, but perhaps this ritual is not what they made you believe it was.
Tolwyn will add, there is nothing more contrary to nature than the undead, and the things converging on that tree, threatening that tree, I believe, with harm, are undead.
I'm gonna have you both make another persuasion roll on here to give her the final nudge into believing she's been tricked here.
Is that also
Okay,
with
just so you
advantage,
know,
or
if
This one will
I
be a
don't-
straight one.
If I don't roll well, I'm going to use favored gods. in
Okay.
this.
At this point, Rocky and Duncan, you see now what were kind of slow pulse is getting a little bit faster. Now the
Yeah,
statue
I'm
is...
going to use favored by the gods.
Okay. You can see the pulsing growing faster and faster and faster, and it's reaching almost like a crescendo now. It's building and
goodness.
building.
Damn
This is
it.
not good.
There's no way I can inspire Telwyn, right?
Yeah, you can, if you want to do a little bardic inspiration. What do you got?
I'm just trying to think how I can bardic inspiration without breaking my cover. I think I'm just gonna play a few notes on my banjo. Just try to
Do you
throw
have to
my.
use music?
Don't do it to her. Do it to Mautani. You got a better roll.
That's
Try and
true.
tip it over the
I'll
edge.
just give him I'll just give Mautan a back rub while I'm back here.
the feathers will kind of ruffle, and I'll stand up a little straighter, and I'll kind of give a little...
Actually, bardic
confidence booster.
inspiration on Telwyn might be a good idea so that she doesn't ruin what Maltan is doing.
I technically could do both. What I'm hoping is that Mautan's roll negates
Because it'll average
bad
out, so either
roll.
way, it'll still...
Yeah, whenever two people roll, it's the average. So, whichever one.
I could technically also do both, I suppose.
And
Spend-
doing both
spend-
would
spend two
increase the
bardics.
average.
That'll be 2 bardic inspirations, though.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
It might be worth it.
this
We're
is down to the
hugely
wire.
outnumbered.
All right,
So,
so you
while
give...
I'm scratching his back, I look over to Telwyn and I just give her a thumbs up. It's going well. I mouth.
That's all it takes, huh?
Is it a D8?
So I re-roll
It's a D8.
persuasion and add the 2.
No, you
No,
get to
it's
add
a-
you get to add a d8 to your roll.
You just add a D8.
Okay.
It's just bringing up the average a little bit, hopefully. Make it a 1. Just really disappoint me.
Oh, 8 for
Oh,
Mountain.
Max.
There it is.
There we go, there it is.
You had to tell me to roll a 1.
I had to tell you.
All right,
There.
so that brings Telwyn to 11, but
Sweet.
Mautan, you're at... Oh my gosh,
26.
that's 26. That's a 26 persuasion, though.
I'm a persuasive bird.
She just looks at you. You can see her eyes through the mask just kind of soften. I suppose we were tricked, but they seemed so sincere.
But they themselves are undead. They are vampires.
We must call off this ritual at once.
Yes, I will. She looks kind of like, panic now as she's looking up at the statue, which is just pulsing almost like almost at strobe light levels now as this comes through.
Is there anything we can do to aid you? Does the statue need to be destroyed?
It's fueling the ritual. The roots come down from the statue. And she's pointing, and you can see they're all the roots attached to all the people in the circle here.
Then the
Is it the
statue.
stone?
We must stop it once. We must remove them before it's done.
Remove who?
She's pointing at all the druids and the barbarians in the circle here, all attached.
Telwyn, Osmond.
The ritual is almost complete. I don't
It
know.
might be faster to destroy the statue.
We have to release the druids. Osmond.
Yes, Mautan, Rocky, and Duncan work on that. I'm gonna try to destroy the statue.
Oh, hell no.
I hop out from behind the bird.
I'm going to start. Well, as I'm ripping stuff out, I'm gonna ask the druid if destroying the statue is gonna do anything at all.
It might. It should. It's what's powering the ritual itself.
I'm on it.
Alright. Do we need to do anything to rip
You
druids out?
detach all of them.
No, I'm asking Patrick.
So you go and you try to pull. You can do like if you're just trying to straight pull, you can do a strength check.
Can I like shoot the vines with my key blast?
Oh yeah, you can do that too.
Cool. Is that just an attack roll?
Yeah. With a 10, you shoot the blast. You kind of singe it a little.
Well, that's a 10 to hit, right? And then
Yeah.
8 damage. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of singe it a little bit. Don't quite get the full shot, and you notice there's a quick burst of energy up into the statue, and the statue grows one last time green.
Well, you haven't been giving me a chance to tell you what Tellin's gonna do to try to destroy the statue.
You see the light pulse up green. Telwyn, what are you doing in this instance?
Tellin is going to blast it with magic missile, and then hit it with a booming blade.
Okay, so you shoot forth the magic missiles. You see them shoot in. They all fire in. If you want to roll the damage on that.
While she's doing this, can I shoot another blast?
Yeah, well, just 1 second. As she
Okay.
shoots
So
the
that's
blast,
10 force.
yeah, as she shoots the blast in there, you see the light boom out, and you see the entire hill is bathed in this green glow, and you hear a shaking, and the ground starts to rumble. You see in the distance hands starting to crawl their way up out of the ground after this blast hits the statue. The glow washes over that area, and these bodies begin forming their way out. It looks like this pile of corpses clawing their way up out of the ground.
Turn the unholy.
You are... Hold on one
That's a
second.
channel divinity.
How far is the distance on that?
If I am not mistaken, it's...
Because it's
Let me look it
currently...
up real
This
quick.
is currently about another 100 feet away. Or no,
Then
sorry,
I'd-
from you. Are you in this?
then
Are you
I'd
in the
wait
circle or
until they're
outside?
within
Turn
range.
Undead is 30 feet away.
Yeah, I'd wait until they're within range then.
So you see...
But I can keep attacking this statue while I wait for him to get here.
Well, as you see, this pile comes up. Okay, hold on. I need to reveal it on the map here. As this pile comes up, you see this giant swarm of massive bodies, almost taking up an entire, almost 20-foot diameter radius of bodies, surging forward. They start crawling towards you this way. The people all in the circle still in their vegetative state. The woman in the center looking horrified on as it comes forward. We're actually going to end our session with this.
No.
Yeah, but Talon's going to yell, "Get them out of here!"
And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
These bodies, are they plants?